Hello. How's everyone doing today? Things real quick before we get started. I already did all my dailies. Did a good number of rolls already. So I already have my Ishmael and everything. More or less set for the most part. I just need to get her weapon. Maybe a couple extra copies, hopefully, to try to get her as close to Triple S as possible. Not sure I'll be able to actually get her to Triple S, though. And then I did end up getting Alpha, though, to Triple S. And her, gacha outfit, too. The Yakuza outfit. I just need to spend like token battle pass tickets to try to get her to Espaz. And then I need copies of Pyroth and Archero. And then the other will probably be vouchers. And it comes a question of like whether or not I decide to go for Triple S, Vera, and Selena, or if I just get base copies of them and then just focus like all my efforts towards like trying to get S plus Dante and Virgil. What are these? Oh, what are these? Now that I've actually done this though, I probably should do another attempt at Warzone. Just clean things up a little bit. Okay, registered anyways. I just need to do Nanamis, Ninas, and Noans. And then that'll be all the arcade animals done. Oh, this is new. Aww. I wonder where this fits into everything. Journal of Promise. I guess an event, sort of. I probably need to do those. It was just that one New Year's event or something. Dreamed inscribed. Oh yeah, I think that was probably the most recent New Year's, and then once in a blue moon was a bit back as well, a couple years back I think. See, Chinese New Year's that is. Anyways, we're all good on those. We're all good on us. Now we got To the Galaxies and Wither to Shine. Both are gonna be pretty long. We might only be able to get through to the Galaxies at this very moment. So, and also let me see one thing. Test. Hey! Things working now. On, the OBS. So I could actually see properly YouTube and Twitch. Okay. So, with that in mind, we have stories to start. So, to the Galaxies. The river of blossoms. She saw scenes from her past. The stars that twinkle in the mysterious universe. Well, the stars start to twinkle in the mysterious universe as if they were breathing. Phew. The stardust filled universe parts like a lifting curtain, revealing a gray-haired girl sitting in a corner of this small world. Give me a second, I'm just doing a couple thingamajiggers. It's like 5, I guess. 10, 12, 23. Sorry about that. She manipulates the virtual screen in her hands, her brows furrowed as she rapidly adjusts the complex coordinates displayed before her.
That's not right. These coordinates don't seem right. Gotta try a different set.
The scenery on the stellar shard fluctuates between ethereal and solid as it slowly morphs with each coordinate adjustment she makes.
No.
The gray-haired girl's voice shifts from hopeful to dejected as she stares in confusion at the space she has traversed countless times before. Oh, and you see, like, some of the old CGs in the back. Like, obviously, there you see the Starfire CG, and before that you see the CG where she meets up with, Martin, I think, is the bear's name. The sparse starlight fails to fill the vast universe as she floats at its center and reaches out to touch the shattered vortexes before her. The vortexes give off a dazzling radiance as space-time stretches and expands, with the brilliant rivers of light streaming past her in a breathtaking display. She sees scenes from her past. Age light cascades upon her friend's shoulders. She sees their first encounter in the desert. She sees an unfamiliar darkness. But she also sees hope drifting through the endless cosmos. But
Nope, it's not here either.
she fiddles with the virtual screen, her head drooping in defeat.
How could this be, though? Is there a hiccup with the new frame's navigation system? Why am I having trouble finding the coordinates that would take me back home, when the simulation process should be working just fine?
Once again, she finds herself lost in this vast universe.
Why is this happening? The anchor points should be fixed in place, but where are they now?
The sparse starlight fails to fill the vast universe as she stares into the boundless expansion of space in bewilderment.
Why can't Nanami find the path back?
She lets out a soft sigh, her thoughts tinged with sadness. Stellar vortexes spin as time and space interweave into intricate, elusive patterns, flowing like rivers that stretch endlessly into the beyond. The girl reaches out again, trying to fish out the right thread from the rivers. She sees fragments of laughter. Machine oil trickles down like tears of blood. She sees the mournful cries of her comrades. She sees a tide that she has never experienced before. She also sees the shining moon and the flames reflecting each other's light under the night sky. Following this timeline, she now sees that certain human once again.
Commandant.
Simulation module entering cooldown. The virtual screen dissipates into the universe, having exhausted itself. The girl, however, perks up with renewed vigor. The brief simulation ends once more, but within her mind, she can see the human commandant every bit as clearly as if they are right next to each other.
Well, still no luck with coordinates, but I sure never saw that coming. I wonder what Commandant is doing now. Is the Commandant going to come for me upon a cloud of stars like the people do in fairy tales? Actually, Commandant has already a bunch of things to deal with. Nanami should keep trying and figure out a way to get back to the Commandant. Don't worry, Commandant. Wait for Nanami. Nanami is coming.
So am I. Just kidding. Suddenly energized, the grey-haired girl clenches her fists and vanishes into the cosmos once more, brimming with determination. The stars start to twinkle in the mysterious universe as if they were breathing. To the Galaxies, Chapter 32. The future yet to be. The wooden door creaks open, and against the light, a familiar yet unfamiliar construct appears before her. Outside the window lies a grey sky. Snow falls in absolute silence, shrouding the world outside in a haze-like veil. You turn away from the window, the dim daylight casting faint shadows on the wall. This place seems forgotten by the world. Even the light itself is veiled in thick layers of dust. A knock at the door shatters the deathly stillness of the room. Commandant. The commanding tone that brooks no argument reveals the visitor's identity. It is Vanessa. I'm going to let myself in now. I assume you're awake already. The wooden door creaks open, and a familiar yet unfamiliar construct appears before you against the light. Try to make a sound. Long deprived of moisture, your vocal cords feel parched. You open your mouth trying to speak, but are unable to make any sound. Heavy bandages wrap around your body, their rigid embrace making movement impossible. Even maintaining a sitting position has drained away what little energy you still have left. Vanessa surveys the bare room, finding it practically empty save for a glass of water on the bedside table, likely left by whoever escorted you back. The water has gone lukewarm, but is better than nothing at this point. As she holds the glass to your mouth, Vanessa feels an inexplicable sense of irritation. Have some water. Okay, thank you. I'm here to inform you about the arrangements for Lucia's frame. You feel your heart gripped by an invisible force as suppressed memories tear their way forcefully through your mind. Gunsmoke, ammunition, crimson mist spreading across your field of vision. Someone that you cannot be more familiar with draws near, only to drift away again.
Commandant Kane. I don't want it all to end here.
Lucia. Mustering every last bit of strength, you finally manage to get her name off your tongue once more. Don't waste your energy. Your body is exhausted and severely dehydrated.
You need time to recover. We've placed Lucia's frame in a sleeping pod at the settlement. Emma and Rosa have made multiple attempts to fix the Omega corner frame, but haven't had any luck so far. I believe we're both used to this by now, and I didn't think I needed to say this, but... She turns her head. My condolences. And... just as she is about to continue, the rotting wooden door creaks again. Come in. Vanessa, the mutated red tide, has appeared at the settlement's perimeter, and has a squad trapped, and we don't have enough personnel to spare. Let's go. Few words are exchanged. They seem quite used to such emergencies by now. After their brief conversation, Vanessa departs in a rush. Stay here, I'll be back. The door slams shut and their footsteps fade away. Silence once again descends upon the room. Lucia. Slowly, you come back to your senses with what little sense you still have, but your body remains immersed in the overwhelming sorrow. Try as you may, you can barely move a finger. You look out the window. Beyond the window lies a grey sky, as heavy snow blankets the entire world. Vanessa and Emma rush to the location of the distress signal. The battle rages on with their support, the mutated red tide finally retreats. The surviving squad members have to keep one another standing as they deal with the aftermath. Vanessa has become a construct for quite some time now, but she still has no love for combat. How revolting. She brushes the snow off her collar while letting Emma attend to the injury she sustained from the battle. Mutated red tide is difficult to handle, true, but I never thought you'd slip up like that. You seem preoccupied. Is it because of the Grey Raven Commandant? Ha! The Grey Raven Commandant. I already have more than I can handle on my plate now. Have the scouts reported back yet? Did the border patrol make it back alive? Are the nearby supply depots still operational? Do we have enough medical supplies for the wounded? Vanessa. Vanessa props herself up and lets out a sneer. The Hetero Tower, the punishing virus, the continuously mutating red tide, and now, here we are. All of us crammed into this damn pinprick of a space near the ARU. Instead of feeling sorry for our bedridden great chief, I say let's save some sympathy for ourselves. How is the commandant doing, though? Let's not send anyone to disturb our patient for the time being. I mean, with Lucia gone and all. He falls silent for a moment. Even if we want to know what the Grey Ravens went through, let's at least wait until the commandant has recovered enough to speak. Right, I'll pass the word along. Kane, you never change, do you? Vanessa! Vanessa! Barniga? Barniga? Interesting name. Speak. The supply warehouse behind the settlement. There are hetero creatures there. What good is a patrol if they can't even do their job? I know, that warehouse has a large batch of medical supply. Without missing a beat, they rush back toward the settlement. The snowfall grows heavier by the minute. They barely reach the outskirts when they see the settlement in chaos, with casualties being rushed to the medical tents. Vanessa! Just then the refugee spots them and comes running over, calling out Vanessa from a distance. Cut to the chase. I'm tired of hearing my name called today. Did the hero creatures completely destroy the warehouse? Damn it! I knew we should have left someone behind at the settlement. Emma, implement the emergency protocols and list the damaged supplies when you're done. The warehouse is undamaged. Then, what's all the fuss about? Has this squad returned early? It's the commandant from that small room in the corner came out and led the off-duty patrol team to lure away the hetero creatures. I can't believe what an elite commandant from old Babylonia is capable of. I can't imagine how powerful Babylonia must have been at its peak. The earth-born human gazes up at the sky, his eyes brimming with admiration. The Commandant came out. Huh, can't say I'm surprised. Looking behind the refugees, she does not see the Grey Raven Commandant. Where is that Commandant? I thought the Commandant was just over there. Might have passed out again. Vanessa? Without responding to the refugee, Vanessa walks in big strides toward the settlements. Didn't I tell you to stay here? The wooden door slams against the wall, having been pushed a little harder than originally intended. Excuse me. The daylight remains dim, but the room is already empty. Where did the Commandant go? You mean the one you brought back? Oh my, that person was absolutely incredible. I asked you a question. I think the Commandant headed toward the center of the settlement by the Great Tombstone. At the heart of the settlement stands a towering stone monument. At first, the stone monument was merely a relic from the Golden Age, weathered by time, yet standing tall at the center of this land. When the settlement was established as a permanent refuge, someone unknown became the first to carve names of the fallen into the stone. Anthony, Constance, Selka, Sika. Oh no, Sika, no! Daniel, Ross, Eli, Bambinata, Yang Ji, Anger. Humans used to tread carefully around the subject of death as if avoiding it could somehow ward off the farewells brought by disasters. But now that farewells have become commonplace, such taboos mean nothing. The monument is simply known as the Great Tombstone, a landmark at the center of the settlement. Vanessa's breath creates wisps of vapor in the air. After a quick calibration of her visual module, she spots the unmistakable figure before the Great Tombstone, both draped in the same blanket of snow. Trying to play tough, huh? You're putting yourself in danger when you aren't fully recovered. Is that what they taught you in the FOS? Kane. Despite her words, the figure remains completely still before the tombstone. Hey! Sensing something amiss, Vanessa scurries up and grabs you by your shoulders, forcefully turning you around. Her words of reproach die in her throat as she meets your vacant, lifeless eyes. Ew! The heavy snow continues to fall. With the hetero creature lured away by the patrol, you gaze upon the tombstone amid the swirling snow as you are trapped in an uncertain future. Walk up slowly. Your fingers trace over the names, some of which you know, while others you do not. Each line of the dark engraving is a scar time has left behind, forever branded into the grey stone. From top to bottom, countless memories are densely etched onto the memorial stone that towers beyond sight. They are all gone. Your breathing becomes rapid and uncontrollable as exhaustion, like a strand of fragile yet sharp spider silk, slowly pierces your heart, draining what little life you have left. Raven Commandant. Her ethereal voice sounds like it has traveled through time and space to reach you here. Hey, tough? Taught you FOS. Feeling a firm grip on your shoulder, you slowly turn around. In Vanessa's eyes, you see an exhausted, numbed human face, pale as a ghost that has escaped its grave. You... Commandant, how in the world? Commandant, what happened? Are you alright? What's going on? I'll contact the Star of Life right away. Commandant Kane. Pull yourself together! With that, you snap back to your senses. Kane, wake up! Get back to your room right now. Emma will be back any moment, and you're in critical condition.
Vanessa furrows her brows as she checks the infection readings on the protective suit you're reading. I should have locked that door. Hello? Kane? She's surprised to find you unresponsive no matter how she calls your name. Your pupils are dilated and unfocused, and you are seemingly deaf to her voice. Damn it. Her knuckles white with tension, Vanessa grinds her teeth as she fights back the urge to explode. What are you trying to do? Freeze yourself to death out here. Is this why Lucia brought you back? To bury yourself beneath this gravestone? Seemingly triggered by some keyword, you break into a coughing fit, showing signs of regaining consciousness. Lucia. Lucia's gone. Do you want to join her in a sleeping pod too? Lucia is dead. Who killed Lucia? Jumbled memories assault your mind, and your heart pounds so hard that it threatens to crush your ribs and chest. Excuse me. Fragments of vivid colors crash across your retina as Lucia moves her lips in your memory, seemingly trying to tell you something. Captain Kane. Even so, that also brings a promise of fresh hope. I'm so glad I got the chance to meet you, Kane. The wind now bites as cold as it did that day, except Lucia now lies in a sleeping pod. Seeing your eyes lose focus once again, Vanessa clenches her fist tightly. Slam! She slams her fist into the gravestone behind you, a metallic scent of vital fluid piercing the frigid air. I believe. Your legs give out, and you slide down against the gravestone to the ground, slamming your head on the monument. The pain dispels all hallucinations, and all you can see through your vacant eyes is Vanessa's face, one going from burning anger to calm. I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm not gonna waste any more time on you. The entire settlement depends on me to keep it running. You have no desire to get out of your current state, Emma. What's going on here? Emma, having rushed to the scene, stares in shock at Vanessa and you. The commandant just successfully commanded the patrol and saved our supply depot. I'm here to evaluate the commandant's performance and distribute the appropriate rewards. Okay, but... Do as I say. Once everything's done, escort the commandant to logistics and let them handle things from there. Understood. Despite her doubts, Emma continues to follow Vanessa's orders. As for you, I understand how you feel, but I've been living on Earth for 30 years now. Crimson vital fluid slowly creeps over Bambinotta's name on the gravestone. That's it. If you can't get back on your feet, just remain seated. Live on, and live as a normal person. Perhaps that's what Lucia... She presses her lips together and speaks no more, turning to leave. Her footsteps fade into the distance. The snow dust on the ground nearly buries you whole as a numbing cold grips your every sense. Lucia is dead. Excruciating pain cuts through your mind. That most familiar signal will never reach your mind beacon again. Like a drowning person grasping at straws, you force out the words through your destroyed throat, even if they come out bloodied and broken. Lucia. Is this the ending she wanted to see? No, not like this. Your suffering at the Hero Tower is over. I believe better days will come, and from now on you'll be safe and sound. I just can't bring myself to part ways with you like this. How can I forgive myself for leaving you here all alone? Turn back to look at the tombstone. An inch of empty space remains at the bottom of the tombstone. Pick up a pebble from nearby. Memories tangle around your mind like scattered threads. You feel an urge to carve something into the gravestone. This is the epitaph of Lucia and the Grey Raven. We once existed in this world. We once fought to reclaim Earth. We are Grey Raven. Blood seeps through your tattered tactical clubs as you clench your fist. Your mind is empty, vacant of all but one obsession: to finish carving what you haven't. Carve Grey Raven's emblem. There are no survivors in this catastrophe. This will end. Grey Raven. I just want to sleep. Far too exhausted to move anymore, you slowly slide down against a great tombstone. At some point, the heavy snow has stopped. The setting sun pierces through the deep, hazy clouds, scattering its dying rays as night falls like a curtain and slowly drapes over half the sky. The battle in the Hedro Tower flashes in your mind like a kaleidoscope of memories, with Lucia's smile being the last thing you remember. I will never regret paying this price. A future without you is meaningless, and a future that doesn't align with our vision of peace is even more futile. So please, don't blame yourself once I'm gone. It's not because we made the wrong choice. Commandant, every failure has its meaning. We've obtained the seeds of a miracle, and from here on, we'll surely find a miracle that belongs to this world, and to us. All of this will come to an end. Your fingers, having grown numb, slip weakly from the base of the gravestone as blood thinly coats the new marks. Your meandering thoughts come to a stop when you carve the final stroke. The trail of blood stretches into the shape of a smile, just like the ones drawn on the back of your hands so many years ago. Struggle desperately. Someone calls out in the distance, the muffled voice drifting away from you. The twilight's glow fills the sky as far as you can see. This time, when you wake up, you will truly be alone. Lucia. I made you a promise. I won't blame myself and I won't give up. So we're just handing over our buffer zones to the Hedro creatures now. Yes, it happened so suddenly, and our outposts. Alright, none of this would have happened had our human soldiers been able to handle those Hedro creatures in combat. Buffer zones were always meant to buy us time. Speaking of which, do we have all our supplies back now? Barniga's chest tightens as Vanessa's voice grows icier by the second. Forget the medium and heavy equipment. What happened to the serum and all the portable supplies? I'm very sorry. Facing a helpless Barniga who is sweating profusely, Vanessa takes a deep breath. Adjust the flags on the tactical map. I need to assess our current situation. As Barniga adjusts the pieces, the crude tactical map clearly shows the borders between areas controlled by humans and Hedro creatures, and the situation looks grim. If we want to go reclaim the buffer zones, we'll have to suspend the flanking operation from last week. While our standby forces are sufficient for one recovery operation, which would leave us with no reserve forces to handle emergencies. But if we completely abandon the buffer zones, both staging areas on our flanks will be compromised. Call back the recon patrol units. Logistics need to be in full force except for the teams in the agricultural zones. But we can barely... Or you could just abandon the buffer zones entirely. Give up the staging areas tomorrow and join me in planning our grand escape the day after that. That's all I gotta say now. A cold draft pushes through the gap of the unlocked door. Well, I guess all the bad things just have to happen at the same time, huh?
Add it to the list. We're getting the lock fixed tomorrow.
As she furrows her brow and grabs the handle, a cold hand in a tactical glove grips the door frame on the outside.
Civilians are forbidden from this area, let alone privy to military intel. Do you want to die?
Put the recon and patrol units under my command. I'll break through those hetero creatures with them. They just took our buffer zones. They're compromised. You know what I can do, Vanessa. Also, I just remembered a few things. As you slowly come back to your senses, the memories about the hetero tower and its core flood your mind.
Come on in.
Vanessa takes a half step back and opens the door to the command center. Once everyone is seated, you organize your thoughts and bring Vanessa up to speed, keeping your points as concise as possible.
The hetero tower, a time machine. If I didn't know you better, I'd think you were some sci-fi writer trying to mess with me.
This is what we learned in the hetero tower. Including the core. Can the core really bring humanity new hope? Can it really help humanity win this hopeless war?
Rosa isn't at the settlement. It's too dangerous here. She might be a construct, but she isn't exactly good in combat, so we set her up her lab somewhere further away. These questions will remain unanswered until Rosa returns. I do want to get to the bottom of what's happening at the hetero tower, but for now, we'll have to put it on hold.
She taps on the crude terrain map.
Even if you could lead a team to break through the hetero creatures in the buffer zones and throw them into this array, it still wouldn't be enough. All winds won't last us long.
Then, let's lure them away.
We'll split them up, lead them to the other fortified camps, and pick them off one by one. And even a map with all troop deployments. I thought you wouldn't notice. Yes, you really are coming back to your senses. This is indeed a crucial checkpoint, but it doesn't need defenses. Can't have them either. Someone's already guarding that. Oh, can't have them either. Someone's already guarding it.
You mean a squad or some other faction?
Luna's there.
Luna?
She barely communicates with the camp, refuses to cooperate with our strategies, and rejects our supplies.
What about the other ascendants?
We haven't detected any ascendants. We've been monitoring the area for a while now, and Luna's the only one there. She hasn't shown any signs of hostility and doesn't seem interested in driving humans away from this place. Seems like she just wants to keep watch there.
Luna was an agent who can connect to the ascent. Maybe you should talk to her.
Emma, something's up with the patrol team. What is it now?
Take your time, don't rush.
The patrol team was returning from the northwest when the mutated red tide suddenly surged. We didn't detect it coming and it's got them trapped. Looks like we'll need to pay them a visit now. The Kane is doing just fine. The commandant can proceed with the mission. Let's move out then. Time to see which poor souls got themselves trapped in the red tide this time.
Vanessa's signature sneer crosses her face. Irreversible end. She sits detachedly in a corner of the snowy plain. The wind howls, the mutated red tide intertwines with snowflakes, and the twisted patterns resemble corroded marble.
It's coming again.
Luna. Holding her hand out, Luna senses the agitation of the punishing virus in the air and lets out a weary sigh of disgust.
Same old, huh? Phantom of the Red Tide. What form have you taken this time? How do you tell I'm the Phantom when you can't even see? You still won't give up. You know you could see the truth of the world by going into the Red Tide. Everything the Ascension Network took from you, the Red Tide can return, and I mean more than just your eyes. I don't see what's making you so stubborn. Through the Ascension Network, you've already seen the future. You've seen the future. You know you'll die here. You know your power will eventually run dry, and if you went to the Red Tide, you could.
You're annoying the heck out of me. The weakened girl raises her hand and, despite her lifeless eyes, accurately shatters the phantom before her. You're just wasting your time. Are you just gonna sit around doing nothing? Do you truly believe humans can find a way to deal with all this before your power completely fades? Are you still clinging to such baseless fantasies about this Earth? All of this is none of your concern. She raises her hand once more, and the red tide's illusion completely dissipates into thin air as snow falls in silence. Can humanity truly find a solution before her power fades away? Perhaps they will, perhaps they won't, but either way, she will have been too powerless to do anything about anything anyway. She has seen those futures. The snow falls silently, gathering around like dust around her. She touches the cold gravel on the ground and gently traces out a crude human figure. Luna doesn't know if she's doing it right. She isn't quite sure anymore, but still tries to trace the shape as accurately as possible, the same way she has many times before. Howling winds scatter the snow dust on the ground, bringing with them air thick with the punishing. Below the cliff, the mutated red tide crashes against decaying rocks, and faint voices can be heard from its depths. Luna furrows her brows wearily, lets out a soft sigh, and slowly rises to her feet. She doesn't like fighting these mutated red tides, but she has no choice but to face them. On. Still evolving. Oh. Mammoth. Okay, high tide. Oh. Man to the help. As the mutated red tide recedes, Luna returns to her seat at the mountain peak, her exhaustion plain to see. While Emma escorts the rescued patrol back to the settlement, Vanessa stands guard at the foot of the mountain. This is what you see when you reach the peak of the mountain. Luna. How are you? You find it impossible to ask the question, simple as it is. There are no survivors in this catastrophe. It's you. She hangs her head low as the shades of twilight blur the line between day and night. You cannot tell if she is smiling. A cold gleam of snow shrouds everything here, making her inspection impossible to read. This has to be the best illusion I've seen so far. She lets out a soft breath. The girl lifts her head and stares at you with those lifeless eyes of hers. Even if you're not real, stay. Just hear me out. It's been so long. So very long. Okay. Fate's onslaught. Dusk drips with bloodstains as the human and the girl watch the twilight fall and the pale moonlight wash over the land. At first, everyone thought the Grey Raven Commandant and Lucia was sent on an unusual but ordinary mission. Grey Raven always seemed to work miracles. They always came home winning fights deemed impossible. The Clean Zone even had a victory celebration prepared for them as soon as they had gone inside the Hedor Tower. Except the Inver Hedor Tower glowed red again, and the banner meant to celebrate Grey Raven's victory was never hung.
This is everything we heard from the refugees. So Lucia and the Grey Raven Commandant never made it out, and the Herder Tower turned red again. Yes, I believe so. What should we do now? How's the forest looking, sister? The red tide has become more dangerous now. Roland and I tried to enter the Herder forest to look for Cradle, but she wasn't there. She might be hiding somewhere. She wouldn't do that.
Luna closed her eyes as the wind rushed past her fingertips, carrying with it an unsettling presence.
The red tide has gone out of control.
Without an administrator, the red tide surged across the land like a raging sea, like a horse that has broken free of its rein.
Those Hedor creatures have gone mad. They used to only wander around the Hedor forest and rarely ever appeared in the conservation area, but they stormed into the conservation area this time and nearly melted everyone there. They've all gone insane.
Calm down. Are you saying all Hedor creatures have gone haywire?
Yes, they've all gone mad. They broke the conservation area's defenses by force, crawling in over corpses of their own kind.
Send an emergency report. This is already the 4th conservation area reporting the Hedor creatures losing control.
What in the world is going on?
The Hedor creatures frantically devoured the surface as they gathered around the Red Hedor Tower, seemingly waiting for something. In the tide-swept Hedor force, Luna struggled to rise from the red tide, choking and coughing.
Luna! Miss Luna, is it still not working? The red tide is rejecting my power. They resist my control and refuse to obey my commands. Then stop trying, humanity. Their survival doesn't concern us. Afraid things aren't as simple this time.
On her way to the Hedor Forest, Luna had attempted to use the Ascension Network once more to simulate the future. She saw a snow-covered future.
I've tried many times since then, but I still can't gain control over the red tide. After several attempts, I discovered another consciousness within it. Chaos. So, you're connected to all of these. I figured as much.
The gray-haired girl casts a knowing look your way.
She seemed unable to fully control the red tide since she spent most of her time in slumber. I tried talking to her, but she seemed barely conscious and was only able to repeat fragments of words. Of the things she said, I heard her whisper your name. The white-haired girl's moments of consciousness grew shorter and shorter. The red tide spiraled out of control once more and turned against its master as the Hedor creatures began evolving in unpredictable ways. And after that,
she repeatedly used the Ascension Network to run simulations, almost exhausting all her power. She yearned for a glimpse of the stars beyond this frame, a variable that the Ascension Network had not foreseen. She saw a snow-covered future.
And then
Roland died. Just as she saw in the countless simulations, he died on the first night when snow began to fall.
He could have escaped. The opportunity to flee was there. But all I want is to protect Luna and ensure her vision comes true. If I can do that, it will be enough. After all, the world Luna wants to see is the world I want to see. Perhaps this is the perfect moment for the final curtain.
And so he met his end on that fateful night.
Lamia was next. With humanity about to embark on their journey, she insisted on going to gather information. Luna recounts everything with tranquility as if she has replayed the same scene countless times in her mind. Lamy entered the waters once more to search for news from other regions. She was never to be heard from again. I will be back with good news, Miss Luna. The timid mermaid plunged into the abyss, but never returned with any news. The red tide flowed back into the sea, giving birth to massive mutated creatures in its depths. I warned her about the dangers of the ocean, yet she still chose that path. That timid mermaid was never meant to be the dove of peace. Luna. And then it was my sister. Luna continues her serene narration, deaf to your words, her tone betraying no emotions. To the punishing virus ascend intermingling beings who pass the initial filtering. No one is invincible, not even the agents. Not me, at least. She stops momentarily. Alpha had been trying to break free from the Ascension Network's bonds, and in a way, she did succeed. But as a consequence, she could no longer connect to the Ascension Network. Even as an agent, I wasn't able to do anything to help her. I was already having trouble seeing things then. This area isn't safe. I'll go eliminate the nearby hetero creature strongholds. Alpha hesitated, worried about leaving Luna alone with her failing eyesight. Are you sure you're going to be okay? I'll be fine. Luna could no longer see, but she could still sense Alpha's presence just fine. Those hetero creatures have evolved again. They're dangerous. If left unchecked, we won't be able to set up camp safely here. Wait for me. I'll be right back. After making sure Luna was safely settled despite her blindness, Alpha left the mountaintop. She lied though. She never came back. The mutated hetero creatures appeared in overwhelming numbers, so much so that Alpha wasn't able to hold them back. But I'll be here waiting for her, no matter how long it takes. Sorry. You do not know why you want to say it, but something tells you she needs to hear an apology right now. I'm sorry I'm so late. This isn't your fault. I'm not telling you this to blame you. She sits there motionless like a fragile porcelain doll. I saw all of this in the simulations before. In a future of swirling snow where the plains are consumed by the red tide, everyone dies one after another until only she remains, sitting alone on this cliff. Luna tilts her head up as a droplet of tears quietly glimmers at the corner of her eyes before it quickly vanishes. Sit down. The dusk bleeds across the sky as you and her watch the sunset fade, and you wait for the pale moonlight to creep across the earth. And you're no red tide illusion, aren't you? What have you been through? Memories of your countless battles and endless days of ruminations become an overwhelming amount of words. For a moment, you do not know where to begin. And last we heard, you and Lucia entered the Hedor Tower. We went through countless battles after that. We managed to escape the Hedor Tower, but Lucia is gone. These words roll across your tongue like a blade's edge, piercing through your numb mind with pain and stirring up tremors of despair once more. Explain what happened at the Hedor Tower. Your breaths crystallize into ice and fall heavily to the ground. I brought the Hedor Tower's core back. Maybe we could. But do we really have enough time? I'm not sure. Only a handful of people could delve into this technology even during Bambalonia's peak. In your current situation, no one knows how long it would take to unlock the core's mysteries. I'm as good as powerless now. I can only suppress the punishing virus around the human settlements. The red tide continues to mutate, and it's not even done. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold on. Kane, I am no hero for humanity. I can't save this planet. The girl's vacant eyes look in your direction, her gaze distant and still. Touch Luna's eyes. Only when your fingers nearly brush against her ice-cold cheek does she instinctively pull away. This was the price I had to pay. The price the Ascension Network demanded. Yes, I told the Ascension Network has claimed there is always a price to see the future. Don't pity me, I need no one's sympathy. This is the path I've chosen, and that's that. I was foolish enough to rely on the Ascension Network to predict the future and try to avoid every path that could lead to their deaths, but none of them was spared in the end. Fate cannot be changed, except for you, Kane. And the lump in my throat. Except for you, Kane. Her vacant pupils seemed to look past you, fixed on some point in the void. What did you see? I saw many things. The red tide drowning the world, and the corrupted spreading across the surface. I witnessed an eternal winter and an endless night. But I never saw you, Commandant. You mean... you never made it out of the tower in every future I simulated. You are the singularity of this world. I see. The Ascension Network can only simulate based on what I already know about you, me, about Babylonia, and about my sister. The simulations don't show clear outcomes, they're more like fragments of scenes. What I can tell you is merely my interpretation of those pieces. Besides you, there's another who never appears in any of my visions, that girl with gray hair. Gray hair? Nanami? In all the futures I've simulated, I've never seen her nor any trace of the mechanoids associated with her. Perhaps she is a variable too, or maybe all those mechanoids are. I tried to probe deeper, but forcing these simulations came at too great a cost. I might be an agent, but it strained me beyond my limits all the same. The information feedback from the Ascension Network corrupted my visual module. I can no longer see those futures. Kane, this is the last piece of information I can offer you. You've done more than enough. Gently touch her hand. This time she does not pull away. Moonlight washes over the mountain peaks. After what feels like seconds, or perhaps minutes, the pale girl steps back slightly to draw herself away from your warm touch. Now, you should go. Time is running out. I can sense it. The punishing virus is about to breach your protective suit. Protective suit? Luna's right. The indicator on your protective suit is slowly turning red. I don't know if you'll find the answer that lies at the end of this path, but I'll hold on as long as I can. I'll hold out longer to buy you more time. You're the only variable, Kane. Your escape from the Herotar stands as the sole anomaly in all my calculations. I'll hold out longer until you return. You trudge away from the cliff's edge. Behind you, Luna lowers her head slightly, overlooking everything below the mountain with those lifeless eyes of hers. Beside her stands a small, faintly glowing lamp. Seemingly trying to acknowledge what you have done, a meaningless gesture to her, she slowly extends her hand at the fire. Upon touching the flame, she quickly withdraws her hand behind her back as if singed. Having been sitting here alone for who knows how long, she has replayed the scenes from her simulations countless times in her mind. She has experienced their deaths countless times in her mind, and she thought she could no longer be moved by anything. Best of luck, Kane. This is our last chance. The blind girl reaches out once more to touch the warm yellow lamp. So, that's what you've learned. Within the swaying trees of shadow and flickering lamplight stands Vanessa. Exactly. The world's singularity, mechanoids, the fragments of evidence that lie scattered like yarn, twisted by fate into an impenetrable tangle. It is impossible for one to know where to start untangling. Okay, Sarah. Such confidence is admirable, I suppose. Hush. Vanessa does a hush gesture right when you are about to talk. Follow behind Vanessa. You quickly hide with Vanessa and turn off the lights. Over there. See that? Before she finishes talking, you also spot the footprints in the glistening snow ahead. The footprints have not been filled by snow yet. Whoever left them cannot be far. The two of you crouch behind low bushes as Vanessa's eyes scan ahead to see where the trail of footprints leads. Over there. A figure slowly moves through the forest nearby. Not a construct, not a corrupted either. This person appears to be searching for something in the woods, occasionally scurrying through the forest and stopping. Then his face is reflected in the gleam of the snow. Hello, Cervantes. Cervantes? The mechanoid with silver, seaweed-like hair looks weary. He glances at the sky before hurrying away. Grows in winter. It's very important, okay? Remember that. Give it to the Grey Raven Commandant. Under the hazy moonlight, the silver-haired mechanoid enters a nearby abandoned warehouse in a rush. Mechanoid? You know him? You don't actually think Babylonia knows nothing about those self-proclaimed Church of Machina folks, do you? Well, there's no official documentation. Our squads have run into them every now and then during missions. Never thought I'd run into one at this hour, though. She disengages the safety of her weapon. The last time you saw Cervantes was at Aerospace City when he handed you the key. Keep up. Having seemingly failed to find what he was looking for, Cervantes emerges from the abandoned warehouse with a stern face and quickly heads in another direction. What is he doing? Beats me. And why are we following him? I don't want to deal with some uncontrollable monster out of nowhere that's been corrupted by the Red Tide. Besides, we had an agreement he shouldn't be here. The direction he's headed towards is close to the edge of our monitored safe zone. That damn mutated Red Tide is found here all the time, and no one can guarantee it won't affect the mechanoids. There. The mutated Red Tide twists with the otherworldly colors, serpentines its way into the abandoned warehouse that Cervantes has just entered. Out of patience, she draws her weapon. Cervantes flips open the dust-covered felt sheets, violently tearing open the sealed boxes and meticulously searching every corner. This is the last set of coordinates. If I can't find it here... Boxes marked with a familiar logo are stacked at the bottom of the shelf. Found you. But the mutated Red Tide moves faster than he can react. The iridescent tentacles lurk in the shadows like ash-colored snakes hidden in a furnace, hissing and flicking out their tongues. Oh no. Disregarding the mutated Red Tide, he leans forward, reaching into the area surrounded by the Red Tide to grab the box. Bang. A bullet grazes his cheek and strikes the aberrant tentacle with pinpoint accuracy. Who's there? While spinning around, he swiftly grabs the box and turns his gaze toward the doorway. Against the moonlight and the snow beyond the door stands a figure both familiar yet somehow strange to Cervantes, with a smoking pistol. Kane? Even with his visual module recalibrated, Cervantes still has a hard time believing who he is seeing. You lower your gun as Vanessa steps through the doorway. Not bad at all. You still got it after all these years. Didn't you go into the Hetero Tower? Sage's simulation said you're supposed to be. As you can see, the ever-resilient Commandant has made it out alive again. And you? What brings you back here, Mr. Mechanoid? We signed a non-aggression pact, if I recall correctly. Non-aggression pact? Obviously, with limited resources for survival, I have to ensure the safety of survivors. Can't exactly play nice with toasters that can turn into corrupted at any moment. To answer me this, what are you doing back here? No comment. Cervantes, where's Nanami? No comment. The silver-haired mechanoid remains distrustful. He clearly is not going to trust you, especially when Vanessa is standing right next to you. Is this how you mechanoids treat someone who saved your life? Forget it, Vanessa. Cervantes shows no sign of affection and appears lucid. The box in his hands bears a prominent Church of Machina emblem, and he clearly harbors hostility for unknown reasons, so pressing forward now would be unwise. Perhaps he's thinking of the same prophecy that is not exactly a prophecy. Vanessa takes a step back as her face darkens. Why did you help me? As the two of you turn to leave, Cervantes suddenly speaks. There seems to be no clear answer to his question. Is it because you go way back with him, or is it because of something else entirely? Regardless of your reason, everything seems to boil down to one simple truth.
There's not much I can do anymore. 30 years have passed, and you are no more than just another human now, having lost Grey Raven, Babylonia, and any support you once had. You gesture for Vanessa to follow you as you exit the warehouse to head back into the snowy outdoors. What now, then? Since you just said there's not much you can do anymore. If you let this one go, it's gonna be unimaginably difficult for you to find another Mechanoid down the road. We'll take it one step at a time. When the non-aggression pact was signed, most of the remaining Mechanoids moved to their designated zone. Perhaps we can still find them there. After just a few steps, you hear a cold mechanical voice echo from behind the two of you. Hold on. Cervantes? The silver-haired mechanoid stands a short distance away, his pale body almost melding with the snow's gleam on the ground. Are you really Kane? The one and only. And I guess I don't have a reason to fake it. Why risk pretending to be the commander when I'd shoot any imposter down on the spot? But this is different from Sage's simulations. I couldn't care less who the Sage is, but what you will trust, some simulations or the reality right before your eyes. We have backups of the Grey Raven Commandant's biometric data. Everything was cross-referenced the moment the commandant entered the settlement. There were no traces of growth-accelerating drugs, and all the biometric data was a perfect match. Rosa was the one outputting the data, and the folder used for comparison showed no signs of tampering. I've no obligation to tell you any of this, so you better have something worthwhile to say that justifies me standing here in the snow and wasting my breath. After a brief silence, Cervantes speaks again. Sage left Earth a long time ago. She didn't want to, intending to wait for the commandant's return before deciding, but her simulations showed that a war with humanity and more catastrophes would have been inevitable had the Church of Machina continued to stay on Earth. Sage tried everything she could to solve Earth's problems, but nothing worked. At her tower, the mutated Red Tide, she had no way to deal with any of these threats. In the end, she chose to leave Earth with the Church of Machina. What about you? I'm not a combat mechanoid, so I can't start a war on my own. And besides, I don't want to leave this planet. I was born here, I grew up here, and I want to see how it all ends. He turns away and looks toward the distant horizon. I see. Thanks for the information. Wait, I'm not done talking. Why are you back here? According to the pact we signed, you shouldn't be here. That box you're carrying, what's inside it? Mechanoid instinctively shifts the briefcase behind him, averting Vanessa's gaze with hesitation. He does not doubt the authenticity of the person he is seeing, but he just cannot be sure that if someone can remain unwavering after all this time. When resources grow scarce, any species, be it human or mechanoid, like turn on their own kind and change. Is this person truly still the same person worthy of Sage's trust? Don't do this, Vanessa. We only want to know if he was friend or foe. You have come to understand the situation on Earth since you were back. Everyone is on edge and focused only on their own survival. Given these circumstances, pushing too hard and making a new enemy would not be wise. I just want to make one thing clear, Cervantes. We can overlook your breach of the pact, but in return, I expect you to stand by what you said earlier. Don't instigate war or disturb the current balance. Already at the mercy of the mutated Red Tide, humanity lacks the strength to face additional enemies. Seeing that Cervantes shows no sign of aggression, you gesture for Vanessa to leave with you. You've barely taken 2 steps when Cervantes speaks again. Let's find somewhere more private to talk, Commandant. I was just being a little too cautious. It's been 30 years after all. The silver-haired mechanoid steps forward. I will tell you everything in detail, including why I breached our pact to enter the human settlement and what exactly is inside this box. Not far away stands the abandoned aerospace city. No one knows where its inhabitants have gone. After relocating near the ARU and discovering this empty city,
Rosa made simple modifications to some of the city's defense weaponry and set up a laboratory here. Inside Aerospace City, the silver-haired mechanoid falls into deep thought, seemingly pondering where to begin. For once, Vanessa does not rush him, instead leaning casually against the door frame. Oh, Rosa. Older Rosa. Damn, she grew up. I don't think I've missed anything. The door creaks. A purple-haired young woman slips quietly through the gap and casually takes a seat beside you. Rosa? We met in the transmission just now, remember? Rosa. I'm using the frame Masimov left me before he departed, which is why I might look a bit different now. This is way beyond a bit different. Despite having just seen her through a transmission on your way, you still have a hard time believing she is the same little girl she used to be. There were some issues with the data of our experiments, so I had to come right back after analyzing your biological data. That core you brought back is quite complex. Never mind, we'll discuss that later. Let's hear what this mechanoid has to say first. As Rosa's words fade, Cervantes finally turns around, ready to recount his tale of the past 30 years. The Grey Raven Commandant and Lucia entering the Header Tower was the future Sage once spoke of. I've already told you why Sage left, and yes, I did stay behind to witness Earth's fate, but at the same time. Outside the window, pristine snow blankets the Earth. I am also the tower Sage left behind. The tower? It is destruction, but also an opportunity. I don't know exactly what Sage saw in her simulations, but when she left behind a communicator linked to the starship. Things like these are usually non-functional when they're mentioned, which means... Recently, I lost contact with both the starship and Sage. A mechanoid-made communicator stopped working. That doesn't sound right, wouldn't you say? It had nothing to do with the communicator. Sage attempted to continue her search for humanity's salvation through simulations after leaving Earth, but she vanished into the space-time turbulence. No one knows where she went. Hey, hello, Cervantes, can you hear me? Hehe, this is just a recording. If you're seeing this, it probably means Nanami's run into some teeny tiny problems. But don't worry, I've left behind a mysterious treasure in the warehouse in Aerospace City. Ugh. I don't know if Nanami's flash of genius was true. The commandant would come back, or if that thing would even be useful. Listen up, Cervantes. Remember this. If Commandant does come back, you absolutely must give Commandant the key to the warehouse I left you with. It's super important, okay? Don't forget to give it to Gary and Commandant. Anonymous's smile remains frozen on the age screen. She wears a frame that you have never seen her in before, but her smile is exactly as you remember it. Oh yeah, don't show this video to Commandant yet. The Commandant hasn't seen my new frame. I wanna... Cervantes stops the video quietly. I didn't have time to edit the video because I was short on time. I had planned to add some artistic touches to Sage's new look, but... So, the box you were looking for at the warehouse is... It's the key to the warehouse Sage left with me, yes? She made several spare keys and kept them in different warehouses. The Red Tide swallowed up all but one of them. He opens the box and you once again hold the key in your hands. I know where this warehouse is. After carefully examining the key, Rosa reaches a conclusion. Creak. The long sealed warehouse opens. As power returns, the lights flicker to life. There are so many supplies here. She examines the sacks of boxes in the warehouse. Every seal on the boxes is meticulously labeled, categorizing their contents. Food? These don't look edible anymore. Winter clothing, basic filters for the punishing virus. Serum and cold storage, they should still be usable. And there's this. What's this? Pull off the dust cover. As the dust settles, a peculiarly shaped chair comes into view. It's a full sensory simulation device. An imitation. The nightmare long buried in your memories resurfaces once again. Suppressing the metallic taste in your mouth, you maintain your composure and look at Cervantes. Did Nanami say what it was used for? I'm afraid not. The last thing Sage said to do was give this key to you. Perhaps we need to activate it first to understand what Sage intended it for. Even if we activate it, I'm afraid we don't have enough computing power to keep it running. Noticing everyone's gaze, Rosa taps a pen against the interface behind the chair. Before I asked him on the left, he gave me an encrypted document containing numerous experimental records about you, including the process of receiving certain data through the full sensory simulation device. The document contains very detailed data, such as how much of Gestalt computing power was utilized. Gestalt is gone now. Yes, with Babylonia. Are there no alternatives? It's difficult. With our current resources, we won't be able to build an AI system with even 1/10 of Gestalt's computing power, even if we include all the devices in this warehouse. Isn't Kowloon still around? Vanessa raises an eyebrow as she leans against the doorframe with her arms crossed. Yeah? They didn't leave with Babylonia? From what I know, Babylonia once sent representatives to Kowloon to negotiate, but they only arranged for a portion of the population to enter Babylonia. Therefore, I'm positive that Huashu is still on Earth. Huashu definitely has enough computing power to activate this device, but Kowloon, does it really still exist? You do not know for sure what happened in the past 30 years, but the red tide overflowing from the Hetero Zone was already far beyond control before Lucia and you entered the tower. No one knows for sure if the people of Kowloon are still alive. Silence fills the room. Let's head toward Kowloon and take a look. I'd rather believe Kowloon is tougher than that. Pretty sure they figured out a way to stay safe given that they chose to stay on Earth. Isn't that a bit risky? Risky? The warehouse door swings open and bitter winds slice through the room like blades of snow. Vanessa turns her head with a smirk. Aren't we already taking risks with every breath we take in a world like this? Those of us who are still around are alive because we're the fittest, no? She considers for a moment before coming up with a plan. Call Discord back and have her stand by at the settlement. Emma and I will depart with Greyhaven Commandant. Our frames are relatively new models, and besides, we can also boost our resistance to punching virus to some extent with a mind connection. It's been quite a while. You haven't forgotten how to establish mind connections with constructs, have you, Commandant? Of course not. That's good. After a quick resupply and arranging to meet Emma at the crossroads, Vanessa performs one final check of your equipment. The serum count seems off. Don't even think about saving serum for the injured. Combat supplies take priority. Take them with you. Vanessa forcefully stuffs the spare serum into your supply pack before taking a step back. There. I never thought I'd end up standing next to you in this role. With a self-mocking laugh, he adjusts her sidearm. As per tradition, give your orders, Commandant. Let's move out, Vanessa. Emma. Solitary City. She doesn't reply. A sword energy tears through the air, severing the crimson shadows and the void. Kowloon, much earlier. It seems like any other day, and nothing seems out of the ordinary, neither good nor bad. On a day like this, where the people of Kowloon remain oblivious, disaster stirs like a snake emerging from the ashes, its forked tongue flickering with a hiss. Jisha. Under the brilliant night of sky of Kowloon, a young girl stretches lazily. It's been a while since we last went on patrol together, Madame Pulao. Has it? I go on patrol all the time, though. Pout. Right. It's just that we don't cross paths all that often, huh? Jisha furrows her brow and hurries toward a malfunctioning mechanoid by the roadside. A sudden malfunction. Should I report this? Of course. With practice efficiency, Puo diagnoses the mechanoid's error data and uploads the information to a terminal. 57th malfunction report received. Shu frowns as he reviews the malfunction reports while Shu has printed. Are you excuse me. Are you done analyzing Hua Shu? Data missing, unable to provide detailed analysis. This makes 57 reports just for tonight. Can you trace the source of these malfunctions? Data missing, unable to provide detailed analysis. He lowers the reports in her hand and gazes out the window. Lanterns start illuminating the city. Kowloon's night has only just begun. Shu, what's the status of the Tabula Akasha? All sectors of the Tabula Akasha are currently operating normally. Surface barrier pressure remains stable. Excuse me. The punishing concentration exceeds normal levels by 25.69%, but remains within manageable parameters. Her gaze grows intense as if trying to pierce through the ground to see the Tabula Akasha buried deep below. Hurry, over here, quick. Blood and fire interweave. A crimson wave surges forth when least expected. The red tide, unstoppable even by the light wall, batters the outskirts of Kowloon endlessly. Jusha desperately pulls up a human caught in the red tide, but she is too late. The person has already stopped breathing. 3rd District, West Side, I need backup. Survivors located. Upon hearing the comms, Jusha quickly wipes her face and rushes to the next rescue point. Are the minds of the fallen soldiers and Kowloon residents uploaded? All the minds of the fallen soldiers and residents have been uploaded according to the protocols of the Tabula Akasha. An additional 1,025 individuals are currently in the process of mind compilation and uploading. The casualty numbers have far exceeded what Chu has anticipated. Ensure the absolute safety of Tabula Akasha's memory sectors. Understood. Hongji, part of the Fuchsia crew. She turns around to look at Huashu. Is this the day from the simulation? Chu stands before the towering wall of crimson data, her eyes darkened with contemplation. The source of the malfunction? Could it be those data reports with inconclusive analysis results? Data missing. Analysis of the 35th issue report received thus far indicates that 45.37% malfunctions are caused by the punishing virus. The 135 reports rapidly merge and split across the screen as lines of data are deconstructed and reassembled. What about the rest? Data missing, unable to provide detailed analysis. The female construct draws a deep breath. Open the lower compartments beneath the Tabula Akasha's inner circuit and evacuate the civilians to these shelters. The punishing virus has mutated. Only 45.37% of it matches the original signature of the virus, while the rest remains unanalyzable, suggesting its mutation stems from a realm beyond human comprehension. Also, no one wishes to witness such a terrible outcome, but Chill was already aware of this scenario a few days ago through Horseshoe simulations. Prepare to receive all Kowloon civilians into the data layers of the Tabula Akasha. With a silent bow, the elderly Fuchsia crew fades away into the void. Time seems to fly by involuntarily as the red tide mutates at a speed beyond human comprehension. In just a few years, the punishing virus has mutated to a point where ordinary humans can barely resist it, forcing Kowloon's remaining population to continue migrating toward the far north. Lady Chill, Babylonia sent a comms request. Answer it. Celica's weary face appears in the comms feed. Let's skip the pleasantries. Babylonia can no longer contain others on the surface. Babylonia is preparing to leave Earth's orbit. Huh. The cold mockery leaves Salka silent for a moment. Almost all of Babylonia's elite squads have fallen, and the 2 remaining Grey Ravens have made several attempts to re-enter the tower, but it has been completely sealed off. The punishing virus is totally out of hand now. As Salka speaks, a transport ship touches... excuse me. As Salka speaks, a transport ship touches down with the rumble. Staff members rush into the newly landed vessel to tend to the critically wounded constructs and humans. Babylonia is preparing to leave Earth's orbit. All surviving humans and constructs on Earth have the right to enter Babylonia and depart with us. Salka lets out a silent sigh. Please send me your list of evacuees and transfer zones. Babylonia will dispatch transport ships to designated locations. The operation code name would be Departure. The transport ships from Babylonia arrived and departed with over 100 Kowloon citizens and refugees from the conservation areas who had sought shelter in Kowloon. After watching transport ships disappear into the distance, Chu turns to face the residents gathered below the platform. This is your last chance to leave. These old bones aren't going anywhere. The young bones aren't leaving either. There's an old saying in Kowloon, fallen leaves return to their roots. Wherever our roots are, that's what we'll stay. Who knows what might happen in that shifty Babylonia? One wrong step, and boom, down you go. I'm not about to live up there where my feet can't touch the earth. The elder's words draw scattered chuckles from the crowd. That's right. Wherever Kowloon is, that's where we'll be. After years in exile, Kowloon has suffered heavy losses, even with the protection of the Tabula Akasha. This once prosperous city-state has been reduced to the mere thousands gathering here. Chu stands on the elevated platform, gazing down at her people below. Lady Chu, what should we do now? As the one leading what is left of the Pulao crew, she knows all too well that nothing about this is simple. The seeds of our civilization have been preserved by Babylonia, and as for those who have chosen to stay, as long as this is their will, no one can force them to leave their homeland. They chose to stay, knowing exactly what's going to become of this place. Then I shall make certain they see... excuse me. Then I shall make certain they see the dawn of victory. The glory of Kowloon shall be eternally recorded in the Tabula Akasha, and the will of Kowloon shall be passed down here for all generations to come. Asha, prepare to receive the remaining civilians of Kowloon into the data layers of Tabula Akasha. Can the Tabula Akasha continue to operate without maintenance? Of course. The usually proud construct shows a rare smile. After comforting Pulao, Chu turns her gaze to the residents below the platform. I will ensure it continues to operate for as long as I am alive. These are the words she leaves unspoken. Having finished battling the grotesquely shaped hetero creatures, Chu leans against the stone pillar and gazes at the endless snowfall above, unable to remember how many days it has been since the battle began. Asha, what's the status of Tabula Akasha? All sectors of Tabula Akasha are currently operating normally. Surface barrier pressure remains stable. The punishing virus concentration exceeds normal levels by 38.69%, but remains within manageable parameters. Her breath crystallizes into frost, carrying with it the heat of her overloaded body. How long has it been since I forcefully uploaded a defiant Pulao into the Tabula Akasha? Chu cannot help but wonder. It has been 1,825 days since the Tabula Akasha was completely sealed. Time sure flies. That's roughly about like 5
a little over 5 years, I think. Almost 6 years, maybe.
Time accumulates like ancient tomes in an old study. Even she, despite her constant vigilance, occasionally loses track of time. Do you feel lonely? Faint whispers hum in the air within the red tide. Why would I? Her longsword in hand, she answers the murmurs churning in the filth. She is wary, but her gaze remains as sharp as ever. The doors of the Tabula Akasha stay shut behind her, the rumble of its closing still ringing in her ears. The Empress locked both Calamities and herself outside the country's gates on that day, keeping her people safe. They're all inside. People come first, the state second. Ah, youngster. Oh. It's alright. It'll make sense when you're older. But... excuse me, give me a moment. Behind me is Kowloon, the land and people I have sworn to protect. With unwavering eyes and a clear mind, she faces the crimson tide before her. They have long abandoned you. The red tide turns and coalesces into the twisted humanoid shapes. A scornful smile crosses Chu's lips as her blade cleaves through the air, cutting down several crimson shadows in a single sweep. It is the sovereign's duty to guard the gates to her land. What right do you have to question the laws of Kowloon? Having repelled another assault of the mutated red tide, Chus wipes her longsword clean as she stands alone amidst the winds and snow. Behind her, the Tabula Akasha continues its eternal peaceful operation, until the day her life comes to an end. It has been 4,772 days since the Tabula Akasha was sealed. Correction, it has been 4,775 days since the Tabula Akasha was sealed. The memories of those lost days remain hazy to her. Did the mutated red tide corrupt her memory module during one of the battles, or did she spend those days in self-repair after sustaining heavy damage? As she channels power to repair her frame, her life detection radar, having been silent this entire time, suddenly comes alive. Life signals? 3 red dots appear on the radar. Oh sure, I'm gonna do diagnostic on my frame. Diagnostics complete. Frame damage at 23.89%. No significant anomalies detected in the radar module. Gripping her longsword, Chu rises to her feet once more. Damn, only 23% though? She is just built different. In a world like this, no life form is truly harmless. She has driven away both mechanoids and humans who sought to claim the Tabula Akasha for themselves. Through the howling blizzard, she adjusts her blurry visual module to peer ahead. Is this it? Don't trust my positioning system. The snowfall intensifies, and through the haze you make out some of the dilapidated buildings of Kowloon in the nearby valley. You have to put in little effort to remove the frost that has formed on your goggles. You find it difficult to imagine anyone alive in a place like this. Step back. Before you reach the building, a piercing blade of light cleaves through the blizzard, carving a deep chasm in the ground before you and Vanessa. Sure? That's impossible. As the howling wind gradually subsides, you see a familiar figure emerge from the thick blanket of snow, sword in hand. Great Raven Commandant? Yes, that's right. Impossible. How did you make it out of that tower? Washu did perform simulations on alternative futures, but you couldn't have. Her eyes filled with suspicion. Shir suddenly flicks a longsword and points its tip directly at your throat. So this is the Red Tide's latest trick? I really don't want to explain it again. Vanessa deflects Chu's longsword with visible irritation on her face. This is the Greyrin Commandant Kane. We've made contact with the commandant about a month ago in the abandoned town along the ARU. I don't know if your frame still works, but you should at least be able to tell that this one and I are genuine constructs. Sue lowers her offensive stance as she studies the three of you with caution. She can indeed confirm that Vanessa and Emma, whom she has met before, are actually constructs. But you... I have simulated all sorts of futures using Huashu's power while guarding this place, but in every single one of them, you weren't there, Kane. Show me that you are not... Show me that you are you, and not just an illusion of the red tide came up with. The red tide can't replicate my appearance. Based on what you have learned from Luna, Vanessa, and Cervantes, you have easily reached this conclusion. It may have to do with the unfathomable secret it may have to do with the unfathomable secret in you that mystified even Vonnegut, or perhaps the fact that you never truly dissolved into the red tide. Either way, it can never turn into an illusion with your face. Have you seen me in the red tide in the last 30 years? Never mind the illusions. Vanessa and Emma wouldn't have trusted an imposter. What does anyone stand to gain from impersonating some commandant from 30 years ago? True, I don't see how anyone would stand to gain anything. Though sheathed, her longsword remains positioned for a quick draw. A hint of caution excuse me. A hint of caution still lingers in her eyes. Time flows like a fleeting shadow. 30 years have passed, and she cannot be certain that the person before her is the same person she used to know. But she knows that she has to protect her people. Noticing Chu's continued vigilance, you step back with Vanessa, a gesture to show the three of you mean no harm. As the tension eases, you take this chance to ask about Huashu simulations Chu mentioned earlier. Said Huashu did simulations on the future. Yes, shortly after your disappearance. Babylonia informed me of your entry into the Outer Tower, and that you excuse me. And that you and Lucia never showed up on the day you were scheduled to be picked up. Everyone knew you and Lucia had gone missing. Sensing something was wrong, I began new simulations with Washu. The results were absolute. No matter how many variables I added, there was only one outcome regarding you. You never made it out of that tower in all those simulations. That is the same outcome Luna ended up with using the Ascension Network. If it were not for Lucia, you might not have made it out alive. My presence here now is the greatest variable of all. Indeed, your escape from the Hero Tower suggests a possible singularity, a deviation from the predicted path. Tell me then, what brings you here? Snow falls heavily as the sovereign of Kowloon stands before all she protects. Though her subjects are nowhere to be seen, she maintains the composure of one who holds destiny in her grasp. Fill her in on what's happened. With Emma's help, you find a sheltered corner away from the wind where you recount everything to Chu in detail. Everything that happened in the Hero Tower, the mechanoid you ran in to after you made it out, the full sensory simulation device Nanami left behind. How you need Huashu's computing power to conduct this unknown Nanami. That's interesting. I never saw these mechanoids you mentioned in any of Huashu's simulations either. After a moment of thought, she summons Huashu. How much computing power do you need to keep Tabula Kasha running at full capacity? 35.18%. Reserve 40%. Allocate all the remaining computing power to the full sensory simulation device. With Chu's silent approval, Emma quickly leaves and returns in a rescue vehicle with Rosa and Cervantes. They bring the full sensory simulation device with them and quickly starts recalibrating it. During this time, you finally get a chance to voice your questions to Chu, who stands before the door with her sword held close. Chu, what happened to all the humans in Kowloon? The rest of us are all here, in the Tabula Kasha. pretty bright, aren't you? After a moment of silence, Chu turns to look at you. Perhaps there's just no way we'll truly be able to see what fate has in store for us. Fate. I factored in countless variables, even my personal entry into the tower, yet none of my simulations could... Yet none of my words. Yet none of my simulations could predict you standing before me now. Life has taught me never to place my hopes in anyone but myself, and yet... She stands alone, her expression as cold and distant as the winter frost. Do make it count. Alright, it's good to go. Right then, Rosa calls out your name. Commandant, our test is complete. The device should be safe, based on the theoretical results we've derived from Asimov's notes. Except I couldn't enter the connection established by this simulation device. It requires a specific mind beacon, so I cannot verify the validity of our results. That's good enough. Then, should we establish the connection now? Just wait a moment. You have complete faith in Asimov's notes, but cannot be sure if this is going to work. Given that Nami is lost in what Cervantes called the chaos of the simulations, will you be able to really be able to reach her? With complications piling up one after another, you do not know if you will be able to bring back the singularity, the variables, and hope. Unprecedented anxiety grips you by the throat, leaving the taste of iron and blood lingering in your mouth. Don't play the Messiah. I've said it before, humanity doesn't need another savior. Vanessa made her way to your side without you even noticing it. Even if we fail, we'll still find a way to carry on. We've managed without you for this long, and we'll live on just fine without you if we have to. Thanks. Go on then. The sooner you leave, the sooner you'll be back. Alright, right here. Don't worry, I'll be the first thing you see when you open your eyes. And if you can't open your eyes, I'll just drag you to the hills and bury you. Hey, I'm kidding. Don't look at me like that. Or, we could just give up now, head straight back to the settlement. We might even make it in time for dinner. Excuse me. We might even make it in time for dinner. Nah. You have come too far to call it quits now. Not to mention Lucia still waiting for you in the distant past. I'm ready. Establish connection. As the thick curtain of night falls, a pink-haired construct in an immaculate cloak materializes in the wilderness, where ravenous winds whip through the merciless snow. Her tall figure phases in and out of space as she toys with the dice in her palm, their crystalline clinks echoing through the air. Kane, making the same choice again, are you? Or are you going to provide a different answer? Let's wait and see if things turn out differently this time. The quivering hood exudes her smile as she tugs at her cloak and turns to leave. Apocalypse Voyage. Regardless of what happens next, she should be the first to... she should first lead her comrades away from the looming danger. Yes, Nanami now? Your mind burns in the darkness as your consciousness rots away. Every cell in you seems to be breaking apart and reconstructing itself. Mottled colors fill your vision. Time means nothing to you anymore until a voice pulls your mind from the bottomless abyss. Be careful now, the star. The star? You cannot even be sure if your eyes are open, but you seem to hear Washi's voice drifting in and out as it travels across the distance to reach you. Anomaly detected. Anomaly in memory storage. Illegal access unable to protect. If you fall, I is going to tease you about it. Beep. Washu falls completely silent. Washu? A hazy light appears before your eyes. What is this place? Ah! A little girl with strange goggles crashes hard onto the ground. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I guess she's a mechanoid.
Yikes, that must hurt.
The gray-haired girl quickly helps the little girl up from the ground.
I told you this wouldn't be a good place to move around, the star.
Oh, yeah, I see, yep, so that's, so then she's a mechanoid, and her, thingy is, her Arkham is the star. Nami? Is this place Nanami's memory storage module? Has the full sensory simulation device connected you to Nanami's memories? Nanami and the mechanoid are right before your eyes, and yet your voice cannot seem to reach them. No matter how hard you shout, it is as if you were covered by a heavy, transparent veil.
Alright, we're going to head back home now with our comrades here.
Nanami squints her eyes playfully as she checks off items in an imaginary notebook.
Alright, let's go. Time for us to head back to the Church of Machina.
She raises her arms while riding on power, looking like a little general returning from victory. Nanami, again your shout falls on deaf ears. Quickly recall the clues before your departure. From what you can recall, Cervantes did mention this situation. The last thing I heard from the starship was that Sage attempted to continue her search for humanity's salvation through simulations after leaving Earth, but she vanished into the space-time turbulence. No one knows where she went. If our hypothesis is correct, and you managed to contact Sage through the full sensory simulation device, your consciousness might become lost with her in the space-time turbulence. Sage has experienced many extraordinary encounters, and I can't be certain which point in time you might find her. It could take a while before you discover the singularity that can wake her up. This might be a long journey. There is no doubt this is going to be a long journey.
Beep beep, Nanami's back.
Power enters the Church of Machina like a small tornado with its master. The grand hall, usually filled with the clicking and whirring of machines, is unusually quiet. A handful of semi-awakened machines slouch listlessly in the corners.
Why are we all looking like this? Come on, Nanami's back. Welcome back, Sage.
Arcana hurries out from the corridor on the other side.
Where did everyone go? I'm not seeing anyone here. They've all gone out on urgent missions to retrieve or contact our comrades that are scattered across the world. Not long ago, the Grey Tower detected that the liquid called the Red Tide around the Header Tower has begun to mutate. In the past, the Red Tide could not harm mechanoids unless there was direct contact, but since its mutation, it's been actively devouring semi-awakened machines. The Red Tide mutation?
Furrowing her brow, Nanami searches through her mind for these key words. Among all the worlds she has seen, she wonders if there was ever an ending like this.
Sage, have you heard of anything from Babylonia? Nope, I haven't read anything from them yet.
The grey-haired girl opens her terminal and makes an exaggerated show of filtering through messages from Babylonia.
Grey Raven Commandant and Lucia haven't made it out of the Header Tower. It's been 1,825 days since they entered the tower, and we haven't heard from them since. I think it's safe to say they're lost in there. Xavier theorizes that the mutated Red Tide might be related to the Header Tower, but we haven't figured out the exact composition of this mutation. Oh my, I had no idea it's been so long since I went in. Nanami was wondering why she hadn't seen Commandant for so long. I thought Commandant had forgotten about me.
Yeah, not.
Did someone just say something? No, Sage, how's your frame, by the way? It's holding up just fine. Nanami's frame is the toughest of them all.
You haven't been searching around the Header Tower, have you? Nami glances around nervously before darting into Xavier's magic workshop.
Regardless, Sage, we have to make a decision now.
Arcana follows right behind Nanami, refusing to let her dodge the subject.
It's been a while since the Grey Raven Commandant went missing, and mutated red tide now threatens the safety of the mechanoids. Hold on 1 second. Let Nanami just quickly finish this thing here. Nanami pouts as she mumbles to herself and rummages through the drawers and cabinets in search of something. Sage, we're out of time. She shakes her head, somewhat frustrated. I can hear it. Calamity is approaching. Change is imminent. And the world has fallen to a deep slumber. Before that happens, we must be prepared. The Great Tower is ready to depart at any time, and Xavier already has all the Starship modification materials ready. Nanami Round is leaving that thing somewhere around here. Nanami pays no attention to Arcana's words as she continues the search. This isn't a problem we can solve by avoiding it, Sage. In this calamity, mechanoids and humans cannot coexist. Who says Nanami is avoiding anything? I'm not avoiding anything. Arcana lets out a soft sigh. Wheel of Fortune has betrayed the Church of Machina and taken with him a group of awakened and semi-awakened mechanoids. This is the second piece of news I wanted to share with you. The changes brought by the mutated red tide spell trouble for the Church of Machina. Some mechanoids firmly believe that humans are to blame for all these unfortunate changes, that humans have polluted this world, invaded this world, and made this world worse. Isn't it obvious? His joints click and clatter as he fidgets with his components. Ever since he fled the Church of Machina with the Emperor, his life has clearly taken a turn for the worse. No one would spare him any fuel, let alone maintain his frame for free. Wheel of Fortune, Sage has yet to hold you accountable for taking Shoals away. Hold me accountable? If Shoals' desire to claim the aerospace city for our mechanical brethren counts as a crime, I can't think of a more beautiful way to describe him. Our time has come, Arcana, Mother. Hand over Shoals, and Sage might just pardon you. You're mistaken, Mother. I didn't come back seeking anyone's forgiveness. I simply believe all our comrades have the right to know the truth. And the truth is, Earth should be ours now. The era of machines has come. We shall purge humanity, claim Earth for ourselves, and we will fight off the punching virus. We shall become the new dominant species of Earth. That's not what Sage taught us. Sage taught us that we should live in harmony with humans. I, Wheel of Fortune, am also an apostle of Sage's mechanical will. My comrade, if we could offer the entire world to Sage, why should we confine ourselves to this pretty Church of Machina? Nanami doesn't care about ruling the world. Nanami puffs up her cheeks and puts her hands on her hips. So Wheel of Fortune only managed to take away small portions of the gears. Most of the remaining mechanoids still hold your will as supreme. Nanami frowns and pouts. Shoals is a bad guy, but I really don't know what to do about them. We can punish Zero for letting Shoals and Wheel of Fortune escape by temporarily restricting her to the Church of Machina, but Wheel of Fortune and Shoals... Arcana rarely sees Nanami so troubled. She truly does not know how to deal with these wayward brethren. Attempting to destroy Shoals' core consciousness was already a drastic measure for her, but can a mechanoid's consciousness really be destroyed that easily? Shoals' core being is essentially just a string of code, and no one knows how many copies he has made of himself. Theoretically, he could be hiding anywhere in the data flow. She lets out another heavy sigh. Even without Arcana pointing it out, she has already noticed the signs of something going wrong. The air around her is twisting. The girl's body descends into infinite darkness and is almost about to dissolve. She slowly reaches out her hand and the magnetic pull grows steadily stronger. The countdown begins to tick quietly. There's no time left to waste. Once awakened machines develop their own consciousness, the Church of Machina becomes powerless to stop their actions. If this continues, Shoals and the Wheel of Fortune will not be the last mechanoids to leave the Church of Machina. Looking from their perspective, are they truly wrong? Nanami finds herself unable to judge. But one thing she knows for certain. She recalls the future she saw during Jet simulation. A world of darkness and depravity, of deathly frost, where mechanoids wage never-ending wars, consuming every inch of the land beneath them. Nanami doesn't want a future like that. Nanami digs deep into Xavier's magic workshop and retrieves a crude blueprint. She holds it up to the light and squints at the design she completed long ago. Where's Xavier? He said he needed to retrieve something important from an abandoned warehouse nearby. Any news about what I asked him to make? He mentioned it was in the laboratory before he left. The calibration is complete and good for use any time. Is that Sage's new frame? Of course! This is the most powerful frame I've ever come up with myself. After rummaging through every corner, Nanami finds the incubation pod housing a construct. She draws back the curtain covering the glass window, lost in thought. What a unique frame. Akana follows closely behind and sees Nanami lying motionless in the incubation pod. Of course, Nanami put a lot of work into it. I thought Sage would come up with something more mature. No. Nanami wouldn't want that. The memory of a girl with silvery hairy hair surfaces in Nanami's mind. She shakes her head repeatedly, seemingly trying to cast that spectral figure out of her mind. I've changed my mind. Nanami doesn't want to be the big sister anymore. I just want to stay here on Earth and live together with the commandants and all these people. But we're running out of time. In the hall, several semi-awakened mechanical children played together, blissfully ignorant. Regardless of what happens next, she should first lead her kin away from the looming danger. This is the responsibility she must bear as Sage Machina. As for Babylonia and the Grey Raven Commandant, I went to check the area shortly after Commandant Lucia entered the tower. A knowing look crosses Arcana's face. Of course I had to check it out. I had to make sure that huge thing wouldn't become a threat to our kind. But when I got there, the tower was completely sealed off. There is no way Nanami or the other Grey Ravens can make it in there if the tower is still sealed. And we won't be able to find the Commandant even if we force our way in. I've tried that already. The new frame was designed to see if we could break through that barrier, but now it seems that even if we force our way in, we still wouldn't be able to find Commandant. Plus, your current frame is severely damaged from when you force your way into that tower. Hey, it's not just a Hero tower. I made the frame for a different purpose anyways. Nanami made it for smoother simulations in the data space, but none of that matters now. What matters is, we're running out of time. She frowns, feeling the pull of gravity tugging at her. Time is truly running out, for both mechanoids and humans alike. Sage! Mother. The star, what's wrong? Akana patiently kneels down to comfort the frightened mechanoid. It's out there, the strange red wave is flooding in. Aya told me to hurry and find Sage. The expression on the star's mask changes rapidly as she sobs uncontrollably. Aya says the red wave broke through Grey Tower's defenses. She says the protective barriers in the place seem to have failed. The red wave might be getting stronger now than it was before. The red wave has already flooded into a hide-and-seek spot in the outer layer of the Grey Tower. The mutated red tide has breached the ruins, says Arcana with a furrow. This is bad. Hikma, Trailblazer, and Zero have all left to rescue our comrades nearby. Hey, you still got me here. With a practiced movement, she connects each port from the incubation pod to her frame one by one. Let's show them what this new frame is made of. The Star, take your friends out there with Aya to our secret hideout. Okay. This might be too hasty. Xavier isn't even here. Have faith in your great sage. Nanami is pretty amazing. After activating the incubation pod's button, Nanami gives Power a cheerful pat, her eyes crinkling with a smile. See you later, Power. Here comes Nanami the Knight.
8, a small star, not a knight. Until you defeat enemies for a second time, find a bus. Okay. Let's go together. Ruins, outskirts of Grey Tower. As the mutated Red Tide assaults the outer defenses of the Grey Tower, Aya, the medical robot, sprints toward the Church of Machina, its tiny mechanical legs scurrying frantically as it carries a wailing semi-awakened mechanoid on its back. Following Nanami's orders to return and gather her friends, the Saw feels flustered. She stammers in response to her friends' call. Got it, Aya, this way. The star's enhanced visual modules whirs to life in her goggles as it scans intently for a shorter path. Sage is on her way to saving us now. Stupid Aya, the right way is here. Ugh. The star's optical guidance proves faulty as a towering wall suddenly looms before them. Oh, no. I know, I screwed up. Boom! Sage, there's a path this way. Ta-da! This is how Nanami makes an entrance. Oh, now this is how Nanami makes an entrance. Sage! Don't worry, Nanami is here to save the day.
2154号侦察型机器人行动受限，请求援助。谢谢你帮助2154号。注意，检测到异常生命体活动迹象。
Hello, creatures.
怎么是这个样子？我中了！送你们回红潮！耶！真的！楽勝！オールクリア！你好，小珍。
你好，这里是2154号侦察型机器人。
小珍，附近还有其他被困的同胞吗？
检测到生命迹象，请跟上2154号。
Yeah. Rare time get to hear the Nanami. Also just as cute as JP Nanami.
搞定。
3274号战斗型机器人，开启作战模式。
Here. Right there. I'll throw out.
4828号医疗型机器人，感谢您的援助。
小问题，不用客气。你要跟我一起去机械教会吗？要去的话，就跟上来吧。
Very cute.
是空中花园来救我们了吗？
是70来救你们啦。不过好像
Guess I'm cool with you giving Babylon all the credit.
哎，这里的红潮为什么这么汹涌？好，
是因为一个白色的人，他一来，红潮就变了。
Interesting.
那个家伙来了，又不知道因为什么离开了，不然我们恐怕活不到现在。
白色的人出现在红潮里。
In the red tide, white from head to toe. Could it be Luna? Aikma?
请注意，请注意，检测到异常生命体活动迹象。
喂！糟糕，还是来晚了。
No, Nanami.
这样的演化，好像是那个家伙这个红潮的状态。克里多尔也进了一级塔。
Phew. Thank goodness Hikema made it back in time. No way I could have saved all these people otherwise. It's just a shame we lost some supplies while we were at it. If Sage hadn't made the quick decision to switch frames, the red tide would have flooded this area by the time the Trailblazer and I made it back. And those humans over there. She turns to look at the humans huddled in the corner who are trembling in fear. They were the residents of the nearby conservation area before the red tide flooded it. Chased by the red sludge, they fled to nearby ruins. Humans shouldn't be here. These people should have died instead. Come on, Trailblazer. Don't be like that. We should have thrown them into that red sludge when we could. If it weren't for these humans, we could have saved more of our own kind. We just had ignored these people and gone straight in to save ourselves. Mommy? Among the quietly huddled crowd, a little girl burst into tears, terrified by the imposing mechanoid before her. There, it's okay. The hooded girl, clearly too young to be the child's mother, holds the little girl tightly in her arms. Trailblazer, stop it. Hikema stares at Trailblazer, who just lashed out at the humans with a serious look. It's okay, little one. Nanami kneels down and gently pats the little girl's head. Hey, check this out. She opens her palm to reveal a tiny speck of light hidden within. The speck of light expands, forming two tiny stars that dance through the air. Huh? Distracted, the little girl sniffles and carefully watches the stars in Nanami's hand. Alright, this one's for you. The tiny star transforms into a hair clip and finds its place in the little girl's hair. And this one is for you, Laser. The now obviously enlarged tiny star bonks heavily against Laser's head as Nanami makes her this declaration. There we go, Laser. Mechanoids and humans should get along. Don't you bully humans. Trailblazer flares up again, having spun a few rounds. It's all because of that weirdo and the red sludge. I could have brought our people back, but there was nothing I could do when the red sludge got the two of them. Come out! Fight me to the death, you freak! Did you just say some weirdo in the red tide? That's scary. A church of Machina erupts into chaos and is now awash in wailing and cursing. Sage, are you really sure about this? She does not know if humans and mechanoids can truly coexist in peace. It's gonna be okay. Hey, let go of that human. In an instant, some conflict breaks out and another mechanoid lifts up a screaming human high into the air. Coexistence between humans and mechanoids is not as simple as she has previously imagined. In this short period alone, the friction between mechanoids and humans has resulted in 15.5 incidents, with that extra 0.5 being... good thing I made it here before they started fighting. Sage. This goes on, are things really going to be okay? The Church of Machina has never taken in humans before. Things should work out eventually, right? Nanami gets along great with the Commandant. Commandant never gets angry at Nanami. Everything's gonna be fine. Anyway, let's leave them be for the time being. Nanami hums an unfamiliar tune as she walks towards Xavier's magic workshop. Blended worlds. Countless absurd futures intertwine, mocking her powerlessness. The mechanoids line up obediently, waiting to be checked by Xavier, while Nanami hums a tune nearby as she plasters her new frame with all sorts of random stickers. All done. Everything's working fine. Next time I'll probably just get a new electron beam cannon. Hey there, the star. Didn't see you there. Are you sure you don't want a new laser visor? It's Xavier's latest special model. Laser visor? Oh, come on, don't be mad. It's fine if you don't want it. Look, it's just a tiny bit of corruption residue. Nothing a quick cleanup won't fix. And, Cervantes, I see you're here, hurt. That's perfect. I've been wanting to modify your weapon system for ages. I'm not hurt. I'm here to see Sage. Like a ghost, the silver-haired mechanoid stands at the back of the line. Cervantes, you're back. Yes, Sage. I headed back to the Church of Machina right after hearing from Arcana. How are things out there now? Not good. We haven't figured out the composition of the Red Tide, and I saw streams of them corrupting every piece of land they touched on my way here. Oh, that's terrible news. But things aren't different down south. Saw the same red muck everywhere I went. Red Tide this time is different from how it was before, in that it actively devours everything around it. Ugh. The workshop door creaks softly open as Hikma and Arcana enter. Hikma, how are the humans doing? They're temporarily housed on the other side of the church. Mechanoids don't have clearance to approach them. According to the humans, the mutated Red Tide had almost completely taken over the outer ruins. Looks like this place isn't safe anymore either. All the mechanoids' gazes converge on Onami. If it's not safe here, we might as well find somewhere else to stay for now. I spent some time near the AIU before. The concentration of punishing virus there isn't very high. Hey, let's just move the entire Church of Machina. Onami's eyes sparkle with excitement as she clenches her fist and hops off the table. Arcana told me you got all the starship modification materials ready. How's that coming along? Oh, of course. All good to go. I can take over Schultz's role in reconstructing the Great Towers program with Cervantes and Hikma's help. That should do it. Let's take the Church of Machina with us. Alright, excuse me. Alright, time for Xavier to shine. Following Nanami's command, all mechanoids spring into the action and file out of the workshop. After a prolonged period of fighting and devastation from the virus, the awakened slowly they gather together, acting in secret on Earth as a Church of Machina. Sage Machina will return to the church, guiding us away from this broken Earth too. Sage Machina will obtain the key to the punishing virus and enter the door. Broken off, I guess. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, so it's not properly done. Have gradually received revelations from Sage. Slowly they gather together, acting in secret on the earth as the Church of Machina. Sage Machina will return to the church, guiding us away from this broken earth to the end of stars. Sage Machina will obtain the key to the vanishing virus and enter the door it opens. Back then, the mechanoids used an abandoned starship as a foundation and gradually built upon it, until it became the Church of Machina today. Under Xavier's direction, the core structure of the Church of Machina has methodically transformed into a flying fortress. Mutated Red Tide appears to have ceased its active invasions. According to the data collected around the Church of Machina, they have become significantly less aggressive lately. My brethren have witnessed a humanoid girl rising from within the Red Tide. Probably Chaos then. Well, Sage. I'm listening. Nanami hunches over the terminal as she types away. Nanami? Only when she hears displeasure in Arcana's voice does Nanami lift her head from behind her notebook, her pen between her teeth. Seeing how distracted Nanami clearly is, Arcana decides to put away the data report altogether. It's about those humans, isn't it? The situation on Earth grows more dire by the day, Sage. Humans wage endless wars and seize resources without restraint. Sooner or later they will come into conflict with mechanoids. Keeping the humans here isn't a wise decision. When the starship construction began, Nanami told the human refugees at the church that they would help those who wished to leave to contact the nearest conservation area. Those who wanted to stay could remain and help with the construction. Some humans, fearful of mechanoids, chose to leave, while others decided to stay. In a world like this, life would be the same no matter where they went. They didn't want to risk another arduous journey to yet another safe zone. I was just thinking about ways to make life more comfortable for the humans aboard the starship. Nanami stares at the screen with a distant look in her eyes. Why do you insist on treating the humans this way? A common enemy can unite former foes for a while, but we can't expect an alliance like this to last forever. That's not true, Arcana. Struck by an idea, Nanami quickly jots down something in her notebook. Are you sure all of this will stop disasters from hitting us? Don't keep asking questions like that, Arcana. You can ask me the same question as many times as you want, but my answer will always be the same. Hey, I'm just gonna leave this barrel right here. Be careful with that. Premium hydraulic oil is hard to come by. Who cares about your... Hey, watch out. Get back. Ah, I'm sorry. What's wrong with... now, Laser? Didn't Sage tell you the other day to be nice to humans? Be nice when they've already taken a quarter of our people's living space and are clearly looking to grab even more. Washing those filthy rags, making campfires. Campfires? What's the point of having something that can burn you around? Hey, humans need that to survive, right? Why should I care? All that water trickling everywhere has already made so many of our little ones rust. Sorry, we didn't mean to. Trailblazer ignores her and quickly walks away, dragging a cart of materials. Ah, forget it. This isn't going anywhere. Hey, human over there. Could you help deliver this cart to the Star? She's inside the church, reinforcing interior partitions. No problem. Leave it to me. Inside the church, the Star and I are working with several semi-awakened machines to move some partition panels. Hello, the Star. Xavier asked me to bring these over. Oh, okay, alright. Can you leave them over here? Or over there, rather? Star, I was just thinking. Medic bot crashes in from the side, aggressively forcing Star and the little girl apart. Oh, Aya, don't be rude. Sorry, Aya didn't mean it. It's okay, Sorry, I'm kind of allergic to humans. Excuse me, is this distance okay? Can I help you? Could you take me to see your leader? It's about some recent tensions between humans and mechanoids. They all chose me to help them get in touch with your leader. Our leader? Oh, you mean Sage, right? Well then, you probably have to keep a good distance from me. Keeping a considerably safe distance, Star sniffles and pitter-patters up to the cabin upstairs. Knock, knock, knock. Come in! Sage, having clearly exhausted all her courage in guiding the human girl here, the Star, with tears in her eyes, scurries behind Nanami for protection. Aw. I apologize for the intrusion, but I was hoping to meet the owner of this starship. Strictly speaking, I'm not the owner, but what can I help you with? I'm here to apologize. Apologize? For what? I mean, we understand that, as humans, we might be causing mechanoids to feel uncomfortable in many ways. For instance, some water droplets from my laundry fell onto a passing mechanoid just the other day, and their joints started to rust without immediate maintenance. I did urge the others to leave the starship when they need to use water, but I'm sure there are more issues than meets the eye. And some people don't even treat Aya as their equal, they just order Aya around without so much as a thank you. Sorry, but many of them still don't understand what mechanoids really are. Do allow me to apologize to Aya on their behalf. The human girl bows deeply to the small mechanoid. We escaped from the conservation area closest to the mutated red tide. Most of us are elderly and children. All the able-bodied adults have left just a few of us to take care of them. After some minor conflicts, our leader gathered all the able-bodied adults and claimed they couldn't coexist with these strange-looking mechanoids. They left this place and they left all the injured, elderly and children behind too. We'll try not to be too much trouble, but the elderly and the kids, they can't endure any more hardship. Turns around and bows deeply to Nanami once again. Thank you for taking us in. I came here to apologize. If there's anything we can help with, please let me know and I'll make the arrangements. Hey, we're totally cool. Nanami didn't expect things to turn out this way. Mechanoids and humans are different by nature. It would have been strange had they gotten along right off the bat. If you have any concerns later on, you can come to me or Hikma. Oh look, there she is. Hikma! A hooded female mechanoid quietly enters from behind a door. Thank you. The human girl who has been tense all this time finally breathes a sigh of relief. Also, this is for you, from Casey. The human girl reaches into her pocket and takes out a small gleaming stone, apparently having gone through intense polishing. Casey? Casey is the little girl you helped before. She wanted to give you her star. She spent a long time polishing it to make it just right. Well, please do thank her for me. Nami happily accepts this small but precious gift. I'll take my leave then. My name's Berna. And please feel free to come to me if you need anything. Berna bows to Nanami one last time before leaving the room. See, that's why. You can ask me why I treat humanity this way as many times as you want, but my answer will always be the same. Nanami was born from love, so it only makes sense for me to give that love back to humanity. I don't understand complicated philosophies. Nanami's way of thinking is simple. I'll be kind to those who are kind to me. Humans have warred with humans, and mechanoids will have conflicts with mechanoids. Does that mean we should eliminate those who might disagree with us just because conflicts might arise in the future? It's the same now. Nanami won't stop helping humans just because there might be wars in the future, and Nanami won't give up on the hope that we have now just because disasters might come later. Nanami will lead the Mechanoid Brethren through this catastrophe, and Nanami won't give up on saving Commandant or finding a new singularity. The central screen bathes in the room in a soft, ethereal glow as Nanami presses the final key. Done! Finished reconstructing the Grey Tower's core control system. Oh, and I took the liberty of cleaning out those backdoor shoals left behind. You're welcome. She casually picks up the starship's blueprints and resumes the scribbling of notes and sketches. Amidst the bustling commotion, the starship gradually takes shape. Though minor friction between humans and mechanoids persists, everything seems to be going in a positive direction. Outside the starship, Xavier directs a group of humans and mechanoids as they work together to raise a set of pillars. By the window sits Nanami, wearing an unusually dejected expression on her face. Sage, Nanami. Detecting emotional fluctuations in Nanami's readings. Alright. I am feeling a little upset. You never wanted to leave Earth, but now. Why did you start overseeing the starship's construction, and why are you now installing space-worthy materials to it? Her smile quietly disappearing, Nanami now looks obviously dejected. Nanami never wanted to build the starship, and Nanami never wanted to lead our people away from Earth. But her finger traces lightly across the porthole. Outside, Xavier gestures enthusiastically as he directs the work with Spooner, who has finally returned to help with the starship's construction. The mutated red tide has bred a new well. The girl is rising from the red tide. I believe you mentioned her before. Cradle, if memory serves me correctly. No, not her. This one, I can't even be sure if it's really something born out of the red tide. I first saw her near the Herder Tower. I suspect she might have escaped from there, but when I looked into the future, I tried to focus my predictions around Commandant, but I couldn't see anything more. Never have I seen this will. I've never encountered her. Countless absurd futures intertwine. Oh no, countless absurd futures intertwine, mocking her powerlessness. Something must have happened to Commandant, but Nanami doesn't know how to help Commandant. Starfare's frame was almost completely wrecked. She went through the Bazaar Tower again and again, but never found traces of the Commandant. Upon returning to the Church of Machina, she saw that the mutated red tide had nearly submerged all surrounding land. With no choice left, she decided to modify the starship, hoping to at least evacuate everyone from this dangerous place. Gravity grows stronger as the countdown keeps ticking away. Nanami doesn't want to leave Earth, but what else can Nanami do? She furrows her brow in confusion. Unable to calculate an answer, Hikma quietly places her hand on Nanami's shoulder. What if we eliminate that will within the red tide? You've set out many times to chase the red tide. Have you found that will? No, not yet. She always seems to be in a daze and just move with an overflow of the mutated red tide. Sometimes she vanishes without a trace, and sometimes she unconsciously follows the mutated red tide as it invades the conservation areas around. According to the previous analysis, the red tide devours humans and mechanoids for sustenance. Would your actions be interpreted by that rule as a declaration of war against her? I'm worried about your safety. There's nothing to worry about, Hikma. Nanami nimbly hops off the window and lands before Hikma. That is when Hikma notices that Nanami seems to have grown a few centimeters taller. There is a momentary pause in Hikma's programming. She knows well that all of this happened gradually through frame iterations. She witnessed Nanami's frame modifications in their entirety, but she still cannot shake this strange feeling. When did Nanami grow so tall? Nanami is invincible, don't worry, and don't be afraid of what's happening. The mechanoids will be fine, and so will the humans. The night will clear away everything that stands in the way, the dragon will be defeated, and everything that belongs to us will eventually come back to us. Nanami might not know what to do, but Nanami is not a kid anymore. I know I'll definitely be able to figure something out. She awkwardly pats Hikma on the shoulder. This is meant to be a comforting gesture. Thanks to Xavier's long-term secret modifications to the Church of Machina's internal systems, starting up the starship takes less time than previously thought. Hey, humans, step back. These materials are corrosive. Humans can't touch them. Let me handle this. Oh, is that so? I missed this morning's safety briefing. Thanks for looking out for me. Without refusing the humans' gratitude, Trailblazer hoists up the materials from the ground and strides away with a swagger. Ah! Hey Trailblazer, you're stepping on Aya. What's she doing here? Oh, Xavier's calling me. I'll just drop these materials off and then be right back. Oh, no, this was Aya's favorite part. Xavier's too busy to help these days. Can I help? Huh? Wait, what? I've been teaching myself mechanical maintenance lately. Maybe I could give it a try. With lingering doubt, the star takes a few steps back as she watches as Berna pulls out tools from her pockets and begins tinkering away. Ah, it's actually fixed. Ah. As long as Aya's happy. Thank you, Berna. Don't mention it. If you need anything else, feel free to ask me anytime. As the starship's reconstruction nears completion, Nanami makes several trips outside to rescue numerous mechanoids and wandering humans who are approaching their coordinates. Perhaps drawn by the growing concentration of life forms nearby, the mutated red tide surges forth, gradually closing in on their position. He frowns, sensing the flow of energy beyond the porthole. Concentration of the punishing virus. Something's off. The Crimson Girl slowly opens her eyes. In the city, the red tide has corrupted.
of the time. Shatter all illusions. Destroy all 3 chaos illusions. Easy enough.
So, this is where you've been. Found you. She's already devoured several nearby supply warehouses. Trailblazer has seen her before, but she seemed completely incapable of communication. Oh, no. I was not narrating, but I found out. No worries. Leave it to Nanami. When Nanami is done adjusting her equipment, the tiny stars on her shield start shining brightly. The mutated red tide started changing near her tower and spawned this weird creature. I'm sure she knows something about Commandant. Nanami's eyes sparkle with burning determination. Commandant, wait for Nanami. Nanami is coming for you. She is a true knight, charging headlong into unknown dangers without ever looking back. In an abandoned city consumed by the red tide, strange white ripples intermingle with crimson waves, carrying a petite girl aloft. Her eyes are vacant as she stares straight ahead, like a soulless doll, acting only on instinct. Devour, absorb, they need more, more, whispers the red tide. Kane. He has no idea what this name means, nor what it represents. What is this?
是红潮里白色的人？喂，你是谁？ずっとラブル？这些叶核生物有些奇怪。哎，那个白色的人去哪里了？啊，在那里！
啊，什么玩意？
不要跑！其实有问题要问你。
Very cute.
居然骗其实！其实一定要追到你！好大的山洞！喂，又是这些讨厌的家伙！其实不喜欢你们。
Hey.
ずっとラブル
Okay. Time to follow chaos.
“痕迹消失了，哼，居然躲在这里！”ずっとラブル呀吼！哼，这次你可逃不掉了！我看你这次还能跑到哪里？告诉我，你是不是从异巨塔里出来的？
Ha! You got nowhere left to run. Under Nanami's relentless assault, the doll-like girl is driven into the farthest corner. Strange colors flicker through her hollow eyes as if conflicting emotions cross her face. Did you come from the head of her tower? Head of her tower? Kane. So, you do know Commandant's name? Looking fierce, she brandishes her longsword menacingly. How's Commandant doing? Spill it now. Kane, head of her tower. Leave. Multiple consciousnesses seem to be wrestling for control of the body, leaving chaos in a state of confusion. I guess you could say state of chaos. It's the punishing virus. After several shifts in consciousness, The pale girl slowly raises her head to face the mechanoid. Kane left the Hedor Tower. Time flows chaotically within the Hedor Tower. It's unclear when exactly Kane left. What do you mean? It could be tomorrow, 100 years from now, or even 1,000 years ahead. No one knows exactly when Kane is going to appear. What's going on with the mutated red tide? The punishing virus, fusion, Hedor Tower going haywire. Recycle, information, civilization. The look on the girl's face becomes empty once again as she forces out broken fragments of words. It's too late. Crimson tears slowly stream down her face. Get out, get out. Chaos slowly melts away, her form dissolving into streams of red and white that flow into the surging tide. But we're out of time. Nanami stares blankly at where Chaos vanished. Time seems to be flying, the countdown ticking forward relentlessly, each second marked by crystal clear ticks of the clock. Commandant. The frame moves at full speed as she races back to the starship, dialing the terminal number she knows by heart. Commandant. As always, the terminal returns nothing but a disconnection signal. Commandant, where exactly are you? How in the world am I supposed to find you when I don't know which time or space you are in, when I don't even have any coordinates to work with? She stubbornly dials the terminal number once more, but to no avail once again. Nanami stares at the silent terminal in confusion. They've left the Hedor Tower. How am I supposed to find you when that's the only thing I know? But given who I am, things are probably gonna be okay, right? She clenches her fist, trying to cheer herself up like before, but halfway through speaking to the terminal, she can't help but let out another sigh. It could be tomorrow, 100 years from now, or even 1,000 years ahead. What exactly am I supposed to do? I don't even know if I can live that long. Nanami is a mechanoid, so it should be possible, as long as my frame is well maintained. She rubs her cheeks. Ugh. Alright, I'm so gonna do this. New mission objective, live for the next 1,000 years. The terminal call hasn't automatically disconnected, and the cold voicemail prompts indicates that she can leave a message. Nami rubs her cheeks again, her enthusiasm returning in full force. Commandant, where are you now? Nami doesn't know how you're doing now, or when you'll hear this message. If you get this message, just be good and stay right where you are. Nami will try super hard to live until the far, far future, or maybe I'll try to find a way to go to the distant past. In any case, as long as you're somewhere in this universe, Nami will find you, Commandant. Just our resident bundle of joy. Anchor. The massive starship glides low over the city that humans once called home. My supplies! In the Church of Machina Hall, Xavier clutches his head in despair while Savanti stands aside, methodically counting their lost supplies. Fuel depleted, engine propellant depleted. Insulation material depleted, fiber structures, composite materials, everything depleted. My supplies, my materials, my resources, my starship. He clutches his head in agony. Ick, what's going on here? Nami bounces down from upstairs and tilts her head at the chaotic scene in the hall. I'll fight the red tide to the death. Charge! Fight to the death! Mutated red tide has devoured several nearby warehouses where supplies were stored. Having screwed his head back onto his neck, Xavier looks utterly defeated. Calculation complete. The warehouses corrupted by red tide contain mainly consumable supplies that Xavier has collected and stored for the starship. A holographic inventory of lost supplies materializes in the center Cervantes projects it. If it's just fuel we need, maybe we can find it somewhere else. It's not just consumable supplies, actually. Actually, our biggest loss is the reactor. Why in the world would you hide the reactor in the Yatta ruins? I put it there because I was worried about accidents during the experiment. Who in the right mind would keep your reactor at home? How was I supposed to know that damn thing would burst in from exactly that way? The reactor situation is nerve-wracking. My memory serves me correctly. Xavier and I salvaged that one from some random research facility a long time ago. How much do we have left? Let's see. He skims through the list Cervantes prepared. I feel that to circle Earth once. Clear that with the amount of fuel left, there's no time the starship that will ever make it into space. Well, let's stick to the original plan and head to the ARU first. Aerospace City is located in part of the ARU that's close to Kowloon. Oh, right, Aerospace City. That's where the magnetic acceleration track is. Yes, Sage. Aerospace City has the magnetic acceleration track called the Bifrost. That's powered by a cold fusion reactor. Furthermore, Aerospace City was responsible for launching the Dawn 3 spacecraft. It was also where Eden 1, the predecessor to Babylonia, was developed and technically validated. We should be able to launch our starship if we go there. Yulia currently rules the city. Honey once helped her drive out trolls, so I believe there should be room for cooperation between the Church Machina and Aerospace City. Oh, a cold fusion reactor! Now that's something! Xavier becomes excited once again. The idea of going to Aerospace City is unanimously approved. With the ongoing modifications hastily wrapped up, the starship embarks on its one-way journey. With its engines roaring, the starship finally emerges from the cavern beneath the scorched earth and breaks through to the daylight. Optical camouflage system activated, structural force field engaged, engines running steady, cruise mode initialized. The massive starship glides low over human ruins. As the thermal shields lower one by one over the portals, Nanami, now sitting by the window, peers through the gaps at the world outside. A countdown ticks away beside her as she feels the pull of destiny. She knows exactly what that future holds. The mechanoids remaining on Earth being an even greater catastrophe upon human civilization. In that future, the soul-bearing mechanoid girl exiles herself to space, giving humanity its only chance of survival. I think you need no reminder, Nanami, but I'm you from the future. Giving up her freedom, she became a central AI that leads the spaceship and all the awakened machines on a permanent journey through the infinite universe. Everything is moving toward the future that fate has predetermined. The Grey Raven Commandant enters the Header Tower, never returns, and the red tide engulfs everything. The only change is the mysterious girl who appears in the red tide, except Nanami had no luck trying to find out the Grey Raven Commandant's whereabouts from her. And Neverwinter will descend next, and if the mechanoids are left unchecked on Earth, a torrent of steel from her memory once again submerges humanity's last stronghold. Does it really have to end like this? A tiny voice keeps echoing in her heart. Does she really have no other choice but to push the button that leads to fate and submit to an inevitable end? Does she really have no choice but to abandon Earth, forsake everything about humanity, and lead the mechanoids into exile among the stars? But what can she, in her current state, what can she possibly leave behind for this scarred planet? Nanami stares blankly at her own shadow, lost in thought. Sage? Whoa, Hikma, I swear, you never make a noise when you walk. You were just too focused, Sage. I was just going through stuff in my head. Mechanoids and humans can definitely get along well. Arcana's wrong. Nanami pouts, her enthusiasm visibly deflated. Did you have another argument with Arcana? I know she's just looking out for the mechanoids, but I still don't like the way she puts things. Always going on about how humans are the mechanoids' greatest enemies, and how humans will definitely start attacking mechanoids and stuff. Ugh, I don't want to hear any of that. I'm here to bring you up to speed about the red tide. Hikma considers for a moment before steering the conversation in a different direction. As the starship continues northward, we found that most of the conservation areas we encountered have been consumed by the mutated red tide. Have you come across any humans along the way? We've encountered several groups of migrating humans along the way, all heading to the Arctic joint route. Star managed to get some information out of them without revealing ourselves. Babylonia has joined forces with the Forsaken and Galaxies human forces and is continuing full-scale rescue operations for survivors on the ground. Punishing virus in its mutated red tide keeps rising. The humans seem unable to enter the areas corrupted by the red tide, which are their former conservation areas. To obtain samples for analysis, Spooner and I attempted to venture deep into the ruins the red tide had breached. Hikma gently lowers her voice and leans close to Nanami's ear. We rescued a group of semi-awakened mechanoids and humans trapped in the ruins. Humans? From what? Ruins? Surrounded by the red tide? Yes, quite unbelievable, isn't it? They dug downward to create a temporary safe zone. They were barely surviving with just a small filter unit and some serum. When we arrived, some were already severely infected, but they were still alive and in surprisingly good spirits. Bruno and I kept this from Arcana. We're keeping them for the time being in the lowest level of the starship. These humans showed no signs of aggression. Tremendous crash echoes from the bottom of the starship, followed by the sound of chaotic footsteps. The corrupted, their eyes burning red, slowly creep toward the corner. Why are these things here? That's where the mechanoids keep their supplies, no? Oh no, Star! Tiny robot desperately cranks its speaker to maximum volume, trying to draw the corrupted's attention. No, Aya, there are humans over there. Sage said to never do them any harm. She wipes away her tears and turns to run toward the nearby mezzanine. Hey, that way's a dead end. Damn it. What are you doing? The mechanoids took us in. We can't just turn our backs on them now. The mechanoid is as good as dead if they get infected by the punishing. I still have one serum. I can... Let me go. I can. Before she can finish her sentence, Berna rushes out. Watch out. Without hesitation, she opens fire at the corrupted. Bam. The outdated weapon proves ineffective against the corrupted. Enraged, it whirls around and charges at the humans. Whoa, why are these things here? Nanami's longsword precedes her voice. Nanami's shield guards the girl next to her, precisely as her nimble swordplay forces the corrupted sword back step by step. You bad boy, now fall! The starship's floor panel opens, sending the corrupted plummeting into the void below. Ooh, that was too close, way too close. Thank goodness Nanami got here in time. The young girl collapses to the ground, completely drained. Thank you so much for earlier. Star wouldn't have gotten infected if it weren't for you. Oh, don't mention it. That mechanoid suddenly burst out from over there. We didn't even have time to react. Over there? Trailblazer collected these supplies. Trailblazer's scanning equipment has been updated, which is why I wasn't able to detect mechanoids with low infection levels. The Weapon managed to sneak in during that time. They didn't cause too much damage though, fortunately. Gee, Laser, that's super careless of you. We all thought would have been in super serious trouble had the punishing made it into the Grey Tower. The connecting the frame to the Grey Tower and thoroughly checking its interior systems, Nanami breathed a sigh of relief when nothing appears amiss. Looks like we'll need more and bigger weapons on the starship. Are you okay? Star, who showed no signs of fear drawing the corrupted away just now, comes running back while whimpering. She looks at Berna, who is still sitting where she fell. Fine, we're just doing what we should. We'll lose our temporary home ourselves if this starship gets destroyed. The massive starship glides low over the city that humans once called home. At some point, the mechanoids seem to have become less hostile toward the humans. Having gotten a peace of mind from Nanami, all of the mechanoids, even Trailblazer, who was big on getting the humans out of the starship, softened their stance. I am such a dummy. Star wins this round. It's not because of the humans. Star is just that awesome. Not all humans are bad. Okay, I know. I'm not saying all humans are good either. I know what you're getting at here. It's just humans don't seem all that bad after all. She steals a glance at Berna, who sits nearby, focused on her work. Hey human. How did you modify that weapon last time? Just made some minor adjustments and my compatibility rating increased by 4.29%. I just noticed you seem more comfortable with your left mechanical arm, so I adjusted the grip slightly. Comfortable? What does comfortable mean? It's like, which mechanical arm do you use more often, the left one or the right one? Anyway, thanks. Is this what you wanted to see, Sage? Yes, indeed. Just as Nanami said, humans and mechanoids can always get along well. There weren't any humans on the starship I saw before. Gotta note down this difference. Nanami hunches over her terminal to make a note. A little effort every day goes a long way. I'm sure I'm going to change the world. Sage, why are you so fixated on change? Sage Macedon will return to the church, guiding us away from this broken earth to the end of the stars. For mechanoids, wouldn't this be a more fitting end? But no one can deny that mechanical civilization arose from human civilization, Arcana. Nami looks up, her youthful face looking unexpectedly calm. The fact that the punishing virus can... let me try that again. The fact that the punishing virus can infect mechanoids proves everything. We can run all we want, but that's not going to stop the punishing from showing up around us again, right? I've seen it all, Arcana. I can't tell you more, but that's not the destination we're meant to reach. Then why do you place all your hope in the Grey Raven Commandant? I'm aware of the Commandant's exceptional qualities, but Commandant's just still an ordinary human. Commandant is different, Arcana. Commandant is bound by countless bonds that connect space-time and the universe itself, like an anchor point, or perhaps a beacon. We're now looking at another possibility precisely because Commandant exists. Plus, she turns her head, a mysterious smile playing on her lips. You're the most special human ever, Commandant. Nanami likes you. Struck by a pleasant thought, Nanami hums a tune as she skips merrily back to her cabin. Abandoned by Earth, the girl sits quietly by the window as she speaks, occasionally stealing glances at the blue planet billions of light years away. But you still have a choice, Nanami. You can choose to not become me. Hehe, Commandant! I figured out a way to send video messages to your voicemail. I don't really have anything special to say, just... What are you up to right now, Commandant? Nami did a special fortune telling today, and it says you will definitely see this message. Oh, looks like time's almost up. Let me say one last thing. Commandant, wait for Nanami. I know things are not exactly looking hopeful, but I'll try my best to save humanity however I can. Nanami. Indeed. With the flow. Story 3 is the next one. 5. I guess we'll go up to, yeah, we'll do 12, and then we'll probably call it there, because I am tired. And we've already been out at this for like 3 hours. Oh, find all investigation key points. Just right before going left to the collapsing tunnel. Before the tunnel, there's one on the right. And don't miss. Okay, with the flow. As they journey north, the cold in the air begins to freeze on the starship's viewport. As they journey north, the cold in the air begins to freeze on the starship's viewport. Fuel, antifreeze. We're running out of antifreeze too. Antifreeze we have left isn't enough to winterize all the mechanoids aboard the ship. The number of mechanoids aboard the starship keeps growing. The silent, bestial mechanoid calculates the numbers of passengers aboard the ship. Well, you see, Sage simply can't ignore our kin who still have a chance at survival. The starship shudders slightly as its airlock opens and Nanami rushes in, dragging 2 humans with her. Hey Spooner, hi Xavier. Clean up these 2 that I just fished out. We should still have some serum left to use. Spooner takes the unconscious humans and heads towards the back of the airship. Sage, how much further until we reach this aerospace city Cervantes mentioned? We're running low on fuel and we're almost out of antifreeze and cold-blooded supplies for the mechanoids. If we don't do something about it, a third of our mechanoids will have to enter hibernation mode. Don't worry, Nard and the guys have modified some Grey Tower branch processors and added protective casings around them. Now even those of us without antifreeze can warm ourselves up around the processors. Humans and their interesting little ideas. The Stun kids all love those makeshift heaters. Branch? Processors? The mainframe? Xavier seems to be lagging a bit. Yeah, weren't you just complaining about poor heat dissipation and processor performance issues earlier? Bernard installed 2 one-way fans on the outer. The air they blow out has a weird smell, but it's still way better than if we have to go into hibernation. In the middle of their conversation, Nanami suddenly presses her face against the transparent portal. I think I'm seeing someone over there. The mutated red tide surges forward, sweeping up ruins and soil as it gradually closes in on the few figures higher up. Wait, Sage, you haven't cleaned your frame yet. We'll deal with that when I get back.
骑士，当心玉化红潮。よーく見ててね。やっほー。やっほー。やった！楽勝楽勝！オール。喂喂，嗨，回神，你还好吗？
救救我的队友们，求求你！我让他们先走，可是怪物实在太多了，哪里都是。他们就在那边，我跟你们一起。
不要担心，其实会找到他们的。
战术性回路启动，开始扫描。其实，那边有人类留下的踪迹。
Betrayal。
哎，是坠毁的载具，他们在这里战斗过。是脚印，他们在这里停留过。脚印朝那边延伸了，哈克曼，我们快追上去！红潮还在不停进化。
Now I'm stuck. Come on, can you move? Nope, I'm stuck. Again.
.其实，当心玉化红潮。想定外の事故発生。再解析。
呀吼！やったー！呀吼！よーく見ててね。喂喂，嗨，回神，你还好吗？
救救我的队友们，求求你！我让他们先走，可是怪物实在太多了，哪里都是。他们就在那边，我跟你们一起。
不要担心，其实会找到他们的。
战术性回路启动，开始扫描。其实，那边有人类留下的踪迹。
哎，是坠毁的载具，他们在这里战斗过。红潮还在不停进化。
I think I probably was supposed to go over there then before checking the... Because I did see some nodes around, but now they aren't there after checking the first one.
.
其实，当心玉化红潮。
当たり。よーく見ててね。やっほ！やった！楽勝楽勝！オール。喂喂，嗨，回神，你还好吗？
救救我的队友们，求求你！我让他们先走，可是怪物实在太多了，哪里都是。他们就在那边，我跟你们一起。
不要担心，其实会找到他们的。
战术性回路启动，开始扫描。其实，那边有人类留下的踪迹。
Okay, never mind.
哎，是坠毁的载具，他们在这里战斗过。红潮还在不停进化。是脚印，他们在这里停留过。脚印朝那边延伸了，哈克曼，我们快追上去！
异化红潮已经入侵这个隧道，这里有84.26%的几率会坍塌。想定外の事故発生。再解析。西施小心。
よいしょっと！这里可能还会继续坍塌，冲呀！快点离开这个隧道！
想定外の事故発生。再解析。
やったー！進め！よーく見ててね！やっほー！進め！よいしょっと！
想定外の事故発生。再解析。
勝ったなー！よーく見ててね！痕迹开始分散了，在周围寻找一下吧，他们应该就在附近了。
那边没有构造体的踪迹，朝另外的方向探索一下吧。那边没有构造体的踪迹，朝另外的方向探索一下吧。
Let's go check on these guys.
不可能！队长，队长！
怎么会这样？这里不太对劲，我没见过这样的红潮。
异色红潮中的帕米什病毒浓度更高，请小心。
犀利，
是新生的异核生物。哈克曼，保护好他们，让奇石来对付这个大家伙。アルティメットスペクタクル！呀！よーく見ててね。 楽勝楽勝オールクッショットよいしょっとやっほ楽勝楽勝オールクリアアルティメットスペ还好他并没有成长到完全体，你们还好吧？
多谢你们，基里，快联系空中花园。
现在还不是做这些的时候，快离开这里！我可不想再跟那个大家伙打一架了。
星境接驳口已经打开， 随时可以撤离。
運命は全部ナナミ自身が決めるんだ。
The starship's airlock bursts open as several battered constructs stumble in behind Nanami. Ain't working. Can't reach them. What should I do? You're severely injured. You need to get yourself treated before you die. It's too late. The construct looks utterly desperate. Wait, you're a construct too, aren't you? I think I've seen you before in Babylonia. Nanami doesn't remember you, but I did spend some time hanging out in Babylonia. Can you reach Babylonia? Like a drowning person gasping for salvation, the construct desperately clutches Nanami's arm. We have to reach Babylonia immediately. We gotta let them know that they can't keep sending more squads down here. The hetero creatures are suppressing their vanishing virus concentrations to disguise themselves as humans to lure rescue teams deeper into their trap. Oh. Oh then. That's an interesting cliffhanger. But we're gonna stop there for now because I'm tired and I want to get to bed. So, thanks for everyone that came by, and we'll go through the rest of this chapter next time, probably tomorrow. Peace.